2,632 days have passed since these two teams have met each other. But wait no more. Rivalry Weekend has been restored at the refrigerator on Remus. It's the Central Michigan Chippewas and the Western Michigan Stallions. Hi again, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at Martin Ice Arena. Michael Rosencrantz alongside Reagan Cleaves. We're so happy to have you along for the kickoff of Rivalry Weekend. Reagan, it's been a long 8 years, but it feels good to have this game back in Mount Pleasant.
Indeed, it's been so long. 2017, the last time Central Michigan faced off against the Western Michigan Stallions here at Martin Ice Arena, and it is time for Rivalry Weekend again. Last year it was last time these two teams played, 28-2 the goal differential. It's going to be a much closer game. These two teams very similar this season, and it should be interesting to see how they go tonight.
It should be an interesting one indeed. Taking a look at the last time your Chippewas were in action, it was a 6-1 loss against the Northwood Timberwolves. Bryce Garber opened up the scoring. 1 minute 19 seconds in the game, just 9 seconds on the power play. He certainly made his return noticeable.
Yeah, and it certainly set the tone for that road game against Northwood last weekend. Bryce Garber gets that opening tally. He had 39 points on the season, 37 coming into that game. He dominated, as he's dominated all season. But I really think what was the trouble for Central Michigan, again, as it has been for quite some time, was the power play. 0 for 5 last week, or 0 for 5 in that Saturday game alone. It's been a tough game. It's been a tough time for that power play, and they're again without Andrew Porzonic tonight, and that's going to hurt some more.
It will. Andrew Porzonic, such a pivotal piece on that power play. Lauren Jones had to come in relief for Isaac Gleisner at about 13:26 into the second period. He faced 17 of 18 shots, so other than that one more goal from Northwood, he played extremely well.
Yeah, and that goal that Jones led up came just about a minute into his time on the ice, so he locked things down. He played a lot better. Granted, Northwood was probably playing their third and fourth liners a little bit more later on in that game, but I really think that Lauren Jones did a very good job coming in relief off the bench, cold, more than halfway through the game, and it shows what the veteran-type presence he is on the bench.
Oh, no doubt. It's great to have a veteran like that in Lauren Jones. It was 6 different Timberwolves who got on the score sheet, but Jake Bishop ending the drought with the shutout, I should say. He scored his first goal since the opening series against Ferris State, so a cold stretch, but that's got to be a sense of relief for Jake Bishop.
Yeah, it's certainly got to be a sense of relief for him, and getting back on that score sheet, a guy who doesn't score a ton, and that's what Central Michigan needs to do going on in the last couple of weeks of this season and going into the MCHC playoffs, is you need to get those guys further down the lineup, involved in the scoring, involved in the playing, because eventually, especially after the end of the season, you're going to be without a lot of your top guys. You need to start thinking about the future.
No doubt. There's 8 games left in the season if you're including the MCHC playoffs, so you still have a lot of time to figure things out, but the wins have got to start adding up, Reagan, and hopefully they start tonight. Taking a look at Central Michigan, they sit at 10-15, 1-0 on the season, 19 points of the campaign. They remain in third place in the MCHC East. Reagan, this is their second home game in the calendar year. They've played on the road a lot. That's got to feel good to come back home.
Yeah, exactly. 5 out of the last 6 games have been on the road, dating back to that game against Adrian on the road. It's so nice to be back here at the refrigerator on Remus, as you put it. It's a fantastic building to play, and hopefully tonight the crowd's going to show up. We've been promoting it for the last week and a half. This should be a fantastic matchup tonight, and hopefully the Chippewa faithful show up.
Absolutely. Chippewa faithful, we need you if you aren't here yet. And Reagan, you touched on it already. The power play has continued to struggle immensely. They're 0 for 13 in the last 4 games, but they've dipped now to 17% on the season, so that's below average. And in talking with head coach Brendan Martin, he really stressed the pressure in putting guys in front of the net and keeping that puck in. What do you think Central Michigan's got to do besides that?
What they have to do is reestablish the possession in the zone. I've harped on it all year. One thing that Central Michigan has struggled with is as soon, like they'll win the faceoff in the offensive end to start the power play, and it starts well. You cycle the puck well, you get some good movement, you get some good looks, and then they clear the zone, and you cannot get back into the zone. What you need to do is settle things down, make sure you get in the zone with the puck, and restart the cycle.
Absolutely, and Central Michigan has to take those strides, especially this late in the season. in order to try and make their case to try and get their way back to a national tournament and make it far into the MCHC playoffs. Western Michigan, on the other end, they sit 7-11-0-0 on the season, 14 points. They're 2-8 in division play. They're 5th in the MCHC West for 4 points. They brought 12 players down from the Division I level, so they're bringing in some players with a lot of good experience in the ACHA, and it's going to be a really different matchup tonight. Yeah, indeed, and it shows. This Western team is so much different than it was the last couple of years. They have the most wins they've had in maybe 5-6 years, and it shows because they've brought so many players down, and it's really helped them. Connor Brait, the graduate of Byron Center High School, was a pain for anybody on the west side of the state back when I was in high school, and continues to be a pain down in Kalamazoo, and it's been a fantastic season for Western Michigan by their standards, and they're only going to continue to improve. Oh, no doubt. And Western, their only 2 division wins came against Davenport, which has struggled much of this season, but for Western, they're trying to come in here with a statement today over Central Michigan. Emotions are going to be high with the rivalry, and they're looking to make an impact on the ice here today. Yeah, indeed. They are looking to make an impact on the ice today. And again, this rivalry game gets everybody up into that. You play up to the rivalry, right? Michigan always is prepared to play Ohio State. Check back to this year. And those rivalry games always mean a little bit extra, and especially for all these players who haven't been able to play, either Central Michigan if you're on Western, or the Stallions if you're a Chippewa, it's going to be a much different feel than a normal Friday night. No doubt, Reagan. Taking a look at the series history, 2 times these teams have met. Central has the upper hand, 2-0 in the series history against Western. And again, as a reminder, they outscored the Stallions 28-2 in the year November of 2017. It's 8 years in the making. It's going to be a different game, but we cannot wait to get it going. We'll step aside, but stay tuned. We'll take a little bit more of the MCHC impact players and keys to the game. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CCHN. It's rivalry weekend at Martin Ice Arena as we welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Michael Rosencrans, Reagan Cleaves with you on a beautiful Friday afternoon for some CMU D3 hockey. Time now to take a look at our impact players for CMU. Reagan, who do you got today? First of all, Jace Johnson, the leading scorer for Central Michigan. He's been key to Central Michigan's victories throughout the year. Leads the team in game-winning goals with 3, and also with goals overall. 19 goals, 6 assists for 25 points on the campaign. He has been such a part of this youthful side that Central Michigan has had trouble generating the last couple of years, especially when you've got your top leaders like Isaac Gibbs and Owen Campbell, who benefit greatly on this offense and who are great producers, but they're going to be gone at the end of the year. So you got to look to the guys that are younger, like Jace Johnson, to step up. Another young guy that you need to step up
is Caleb Woolery. He got the bulk of the starts a year ago, and he played very well under that pressure. This year he struggled, partially because he's been put up against a ton of big opponents. He's gotten starts against Grand Valley State, Michigan State, Calvin, and up until his win against Northwestern to start the semester, he'd lost 6 straight. So I'm looking for him to get his mojo back.
Absolutely, and it's so important for a young netminder to play with some confidence, and you'd think going into today, the rivalry has some extra bonus to his confidence, so should be hopefully energetic performance from Caleb Woolery. On the Western Michigan side of things, Reagan, who do you got?
Well, I got Hugo Fonovich, who is their leading scorer, just as Jace Johnson is for Central Michigan. 11 goals, 8 assists for 19 points on the campaign. He's an alternate captain, only has 2 years of experience in the ACHA despite being a senior, but he has played very well for Western this season, coming over from Davenport and being their leading scorer. Second of all, as I mentioned earlier, Connor Brate, the pain of the West Side for Grand Rapids Catholic Central and all the other West Side teams that played against Byron Center. He has been he's a great playmaker for a very well spread out offense when Western isn't playing those teams like Grand Valley and Calvin and the other West Side teams that Central Michigan has had to play this season, all except Hope, mind you. But again, Connor Brate leads the team in assists, and he's tied with Fonovich for 19 points on the campaign. Those two, Fonovich and Brate, you're going to need to look out from tonight.
Absolutely, Reagan, and it'll be a very key thing for Central Michigan to lock down both Fonovich and Brate. Time now to take a look at our keys to the game. Reagan, what do you got tonight?
First of all, you got to help your goaltender out. You allowed in that Northwood series over 100 shots in 2 games. You need to get in front of shots. You need to be able to get some offensive going. And speaking of offensive numbers, let me read you some numbers here. For Western Michigan, their starting goaltenders don't have a career goals against average below 547, and they don't have a career save percentage above 900. So this is a young netminding core for Western Michigan that you need to put pressure on. They're decent netminders. Obviously, they're in the ACHA, but you need to put the pressure on them, get to their weakness, and you got to put pressure on this Western Michigan team. And finally, you got to embrace the rivalry. The first time in 8 years, the Stallions and the Chippewas have faced off. Oh boy, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun, and we can't wait to share it all with you. We're going to step aside again, but when we return, we'll take a look at the MCHC division and some upcoming matches throughout the weekend. It's Central and Western Michigan in a little bit on CCHN. Back here inside Martin Ice Arena, Mike Rosencrans, Reagan Cleaves with you on the pregame show for Central Michigan and Western Michigan. Set to drop the puck in just a few minutes, but not before we check the MCHC standings. Number 4 Lawrence Tech continues to sit in first place with a record of 5-0. Number 9 Michigan sits in second with a record of 2-1. Central Michigan in third place with that 3-5 record. Then rounding out is number 3 Oakland at 4-0 on the campaign. They sit fourth in the division. And then Michigan Flint, winless in the division. They're 0-4, and Adrian sits at 1-5 in the division. And now it's time to take a look at some upcoming series this weekend, starting with LTU in Indiana.
Yeah, Lawrence Tech and Indiana getting underway a little bit later tonight, 8 p.m. tonight at Redford Ice Arena, and tomorrow at 3. Both of those games at Lawrence Tech. Again, a national powerhouse in Lawrence Tech, the defending national champions. and Indiana, a team who made the national tournament a couple of years ago. Oakland and Adrian, another division battle, and for Central Michigan, these are what you're going to watch as we go on here. You're sitting just above Michigan in third place in the division. You've got Michigan right behind you with 4 points. They've got 5 games in hand on you. You need to watch Michigan, Adrian, and Michigan Flint, all teams who are capable of reaching you in the MCHC picture, and both those teams are in action tonight. Again, Oakland and Adrian getting things off at 9 p.m. tonight at Birmingham Ice Arena, the home of the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. They'll get back underway on Sunday with Game 2 of that series at Arrington Ice Arena, the home of the Bulldogs. The other series that Central Michigan needs to watch, the Michigan Flint series. Michigan Flint is capable of reaching them if they win out their games. They've got 6 games remaining in the conference. CMU has been struggling in division, especially since they loaded the front part of their season against Lawrence Tech and Oakland and Adrian, who they dropped a game to. That game means a lot because Michigan is 1 game back. They're 5 games in hand. Michigan Flint are 3 games back. They've got 4 games in hand on the Chippewas. So if you're CMU, it's going to be a tough one to see who you root for. And those 2 games get underway 8 p.m. tonight and 8 p.m. tomorrow at Crystal Fieldhouse and the Arctic Edge of Canton, respectively.
Interesting games this weekend to go on for. And speaking of interesting games, we got one in just a few moments. I had a chance to sit down with head coach Brennan Martin just ahead of the game. We'll step aside, take you to the coaches show, but when we return from that, it'll be puck drop, CMU, and Western Michigan. 8 years in the making. It's Rivalry Weekend here. Can't wait to share it with you. We'll be right back on CCHN. Welcome back to Martin Ice Arena. Michael Rosencrans here with Central Michigan head coach Brennan Martin. Coach, it's here. Rivalry Weekend is here. It's 8 years in the making. What does this mean for you to finally play against Western again?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. Last time we played them was when I was on the team as a sophomore, right? So I was chatting it up with the Western coaches. I mean, it's something that we've been looking at doing for the past couple of years, and different changes in leadership and guys coming in, coming out. The communication just never really stuck there, but luckily it was there this year, and the plan is to keep this going for years to come because this is a rivalry game, and that's how we're going to take it. And in general, for the guys, this is going to be a great weekend for them.
Absolutely it is. You talk about playing this team as a sophomore. A little bit different look now with 12 different players coming down from the D1 level. Does it almost feel like an entirely different matchup or a different mindset, or do you try and keep it the same mindset going in given a rivalry?
Yeah, so I mean, it changes up the matchup a little bit. Obviously, you have different guys that you have to plan for, but the mindset for us is going to stay the same. It's not about them; it's about us and our guys coming together and playing for a common goal of winning for their school and for each other. So, the matchup's a little bit different now with them bringing those guys down, but myself and the rest of the coaching staff, we have the utmost confidence in our guys to go out there and get the job done.
Absolutely. Coming off of a week against Northwood, it was a really tough weekend for you guys, but you played with relative confidence, especially in that Friday game. And then the Saturday game,
was a little more lopsided there, but you return home for the second time in 2025. How excited are you to be back home?
Yeah, we're excited to be back home, and it feels good to be back home. And we had a great week of practice. And if you want to talk on that Northwood weekend for a little bit, that Friday game, that was some of the best hockey that I've seen the team play. I think that was the best goaltending performance that I've seen in a very long time from the program as a whole. And so we have Caleb going again tonight. I'm looking for him to kind of continue that performance, and for these guys to be back in the locker room and on our home ice in this cold barn that we have here. It's good for them, and I'm excited.
Talking about a little bit about the power play, it has struggled as of late. Over the last 13 on the road, down to 17% on the season. What are you guys looking for to get that going back at home?
Yeah, well, definitely we got to be better in front of the net. I know you and I have talked here about the movement, and I've actually been pretty happy with some of the movement that our units have been getting. It's when we get those shots off and those rebounds in front of the net, we're not capitalizing on those, and we might not have our stick on the ice. We might not be winning that first puck battle. So if we can clean up the front of the net, and when I say that, I mean let's score some goals in front of the net, right? Let's get some rebound goals here. We have big guy Andrew Siraki, right? I know that power play is finally back together with OC, and we know from the beginning of the year that was one of the better power play units in the country. So I know they have it in them, and sometimes this happens where you're not as successful, but the movement's there. It's not an issue of breaking the puck out. They're doing well on the breakouts, and they get possession. It's just we have to find ways to score goals now.
Absolutely. It's so important to be able to help your goaltender out. I think the Chippewas have been able to do that. And on the defensive side, what would you like to see from them today?
Yeah, for a player standpoint, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Yep. So I would say from a player standpoint, clear the front of the net out, right? Like how we talked about on the power play, we want to make sure that doesn't happen in front of our net, keeping everything to the outside of what I call the house, really capitalizing on getting the puck out of the zone. That's something that the wingers and I have been working on the last couple weeks was our wall play, and different kind of positions, different angles that you can take, making sure you know where that defenseman is. You got to be looking at all areas of the ice, right? You should already know. I tell these guys, you should know almost what you're going to do with the puck before you get it, right? The most dangerous guy on the ice is the one without the puck. But when you're in the D zone, you need to make sure that you're winning those puck battles, you're getting the puck out, and it's 5 feet inside each blue line. To me, that's where most of the game is played right there, and that's where most of the game's decided at the end of the day. And it's those turnovers. It's not getting the puck out, and then all of a sudden, they get a change, or we have to ice it, and we can't change, right? And all that stems down to if we could have just got the puck out there, right? So we're going to get the puck out today. They're going to do a lot of good stuff in the D zone. I'm pumped for these guys.
Absolutely. It's 60 fresh minutes, and one more time, Coach, it's 8 years in the making. Rivalry game against Western Michigan. What's the message coming out of the locker room to your players?
Yeah, it's rivalry weekend, and at the end of the day, it's not about them; it's about us. It's this is our hockey, this is our barn, and we're going to play with some pride today. So be the better team from the start to finish. Start early, finish late, and let's come out of here with a win, right?
Western back in here, 8 years in the making. Rivalry weekend on the clock. Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Fire up.
That was Central Michigan head coach Brennan Martin. Stay with us. More after this. Puck drop coming up next on CCHN.
National anthems have concluded. It's time to introduce your goaltenders here on this Rivalry Friday night in Mount Pleasant. Starting first for the Western Michigan Stallions, they go to Connor Torkelson, and I'm not talking about Spencer. On the year, he's played 7 games, a 2-3 record, 1 shutout. That came against Trine back on November 23rd, a 3.88 goals against average and an .867 save percentage. On the other side, for your Central Michigan Chippewas, and according to public address announcer tonight, Isaac Hop drinks hot sauce for breakfast. Caleb Woolery playing in his 11th game of the campaign. He's got a record of 2-7-1, a 4.31 goals against average, and a .907 save percentage.
Shoot, Isaac Hop's giving me a run for my money as public address announcer. That was absolutely wonderful. Time now to take a look at your starting lineups for today's contest. For the Western Michigan Stallions, they'll go with Griffin Friel, Jack Williams, Caden Wells, Michael Stein, and Griffin Crampton. Central Michigan will go with Andrew Siraki, Connor Morgan, Jake Bishop, Chris Martin, and Brandon Clements. We're set to drop the puck on a rivalry weekend, so glad to have you along, and off we go from the refrigerator on Remus. Western Michigan is going to be traveling from right to left. Central Michigan counters left to right. Western quickly into the CMU zone, and that's Crampton. Right around the net, Caleb Woolery has to make a quick save 17 seconds into the first period.
Yeah, the captain in here early for the Stallions. A miscommunication at the Central Michigan line leads to a turnover, and expect the Western forecheck to be up and in Central Michigan's face here as we get things started in this one. They want to turn the momentum in their favor as both teams are going to be playing with a lot of energy here tonight.
Bishop drops a pass off to Morgan, who had that shot saved by Torkelson. Central Michigan with it in the offensive zone. A centering feed knocked away by the Stallions. Right idea by Central Michigan, just couldn't get it going. Icing waved off by the linesman, Chris Thayer. CMU back with it in their own end. Out to center ice, but intercepted by Friel. Friel fires it back into the CMU zone where Brandon Clements goes to retrieve it for the Chippewas. Played off the wall. Pass fanned on by Owen Campbell, one of the captains out there for Central Michigan, and an offsides call on the Chippewas, so we'll get a face-off right at center ice.
Yeah, and something I'm noticing early here, Michael, is the speed with which Western Michigan is coming out, and they're really pressuring Central Michigan. I think CMU is kind of a little bit of a slow start. Granted, we're only a minute and 1 second in, but the smaller size of this Western offense, as you see the face-off taken there by Clayton Edmond, it's going to be key if Western Michigan looks to come out with a victory tonight, but Central Michigan has got to respond with that speed.
Yes, they do. We saw bits of pressure like that from the opposing team, such as Calvin just eat alive at Central Michigan and their chances, but here's a penalty coming up on Central Michigan. Not what you wanted there. CMU's going to go on the first penalty kill tonight.
Yeah, indeed, and the penalty kill has been very good for Central Michigan. Throughout the last couple of months, they faltered, though, in a couple of games recently, most notably allowing 3 power play goals against Grand Canyon and then 2 last weekend in that road game against Northwestern. But looks like it's Josh Gilgren to head to the penalty box, so CMU on the penalty kill for the first time tonight.
Central Michigan with some work to do on the penalty kill. Centering feed out in front. It's going to be kept in by the Stallions. Across the way to Satawa. Rather, that's Stein out there. One-time blast blocked away, loose in the slot. And it goes to the back end of the wall for the Chippewas. Pass couldn't be handled. Now it's cleared out just past center ice. And a trailing Chippewa chasing after that puck, but couldn't get to it. Played up along the half wall, Kyle Bowerson. Racing to retrieve the puck for Central Michigan. He cannot do so. A couple of bodies fly out in front of the CMU bench, and it's cleared down the length of the ice. Quick 40 seconds burned off the penalty kill.
Yeah, very good penalty kill for Central Michigan, and they're kind of doing what other teams have done to them when they've been on the penalty kill, is getting that puck out and not allowing, at least to this point, Western to re-enter the zone and gain full possession.
Here's Stein entering the zone. Along the near half wall, played back for Williams. Williams back to Stein. Being hammered by Lucas Hutton on the defensive side. That pass intercepted by CMU, but kept in by Williams. Williams to the right circle. There's a shot right on, blocked away. That might have hit Clements out in front. He might have been feeling that one. 45 seconds to go in the CMU penalty kill. Puck fought for behind the net of Caleb Woolery. Back out for Stein. Walking the blue line. There's a shot deflected out in front. Knocked down to the ground. Puck still alive, though. Can't be cleared by CMU. Stein faked the shot, now circles back to the high slot. Stein walking the blue line, moves in. There's a shot blocked away by Woolery. Another attempt, that pass was fanned on, and CMU clears it the length of the ice. Might have been looking to link up with Jake Bishop there. Too far for him, but this should kill off the remaining seconds of the penalty kill.
Either way, that's a much-needed clear out for Central Michigan. They can't get it out earlier in the penalty kill, and that leads to a lot of zone time for Western on that power play.
And here they come again. Western right back in the zone. Funovich working behind the net. Couldn't get a stick on it. A centering feed out in front. They score. Western couldn't do it on the power play, but chaos in front of the net, and it gets past the blocker of Caleb Woolery. It's 1-0 Stallions.
Yeah, Caleb Woolery comes way out of his crease on the right side as you're looking at it to challenge the attempt by Funovich early on in that chance. Funovich works past the defense. He gets around Woolery. He's momentarily interrupted, but he eventually gets that puck to the front, and it squeaks by Caleb Woolery, and it's a 1-0 game here. 3:32 into this first period.
Ethan Patty getting on the scoreboard. That's his third goal of the season for Western. He's now up to 10 points on the campaign, and Western not done. Quickly in with speed is Kloppy. Kloppy working behind the net, and it gets back out to the blue line. A pass out to center ice, but quickly backhanded into the zone by the Stallions. Maddox Grimes there to retrieve it for Central Michigan, ahead to Armentrout. He tries to fling it out ahead to center ice, but intercepted by the Stallions. CMU back in their own zone. Chippewas haven't had a lot of offensive time tonight, Reagan. They got to try and figure out ways to break past this Western Michigan defense.
Yeah, I don't think they've even got a shot on Connor Torkelson in the net to our right. It's been all Western Michigan, in part because of that power play, but also because Central Michigan, like Jace Johnson just does there, overskates a puck. You're not staying with your man, and it's leading to a lot of good opportunities here for Western Michigan.
Ryan Grollo tried a one-touch pass ahead. A big hit out at center ice. Holy smokes. Well, that doesn't tell you that rivalry weekend's here.
And Julian Johnson, who laid that hit, just gets knocked down again, this time by Tyler Loring. So both teams upping the physicality here. Look out at 2-on-1.
2-on-1 for Western. A centering feed couldn't be handled, though. Big break for Central Michigan. Puck right in front of their own bench. It's cleared for the Chippewas. Now a hit on Jalen McCray back there.
As we see the physicality ramping up, Michael, I wouldn't be surprised if the referees here today let them play a little bit, knowing it's a rivalry game, knowing that the tempers are going to be high. They'll obviously police the incredibly illegal stuff, but I think they'll let them play today.
I would expect nothing less than a rivalry. There's a shot right on, blocked away, and it's controlled by Western Michigan. Referees tonight, Jared Martlock and Ryan Kirkala. And Chris Thayer and Riley Brass, the linesmen for tonight. Puck tied along to the left of Caleb Woolery. Now it comes free, goes behind the net and into the left circle. Cleared but not out. There's a deflection out in front, goes to the far wall. Central Michigan tries to clear but can't get the puck out. Feed to the left circle. That goes up into the glass.
That's a great breakup by Bowerson there, but Western still has the puck.
There's a shot right on. Saved by Woolery. That might have hit iron. Central cannot clear the puck as Western Michigan still with offensive zone time here. Feed into the left circle. Fake the shot. Now it's right back to the blue line. Walking in. Slow pass out in front. Couldn't be handled.
CMU has got to find a way to get out of the zone. They're running around in their own end.
Yes, they are, and Western Michigan's taking advantage. There's a shot, glove saved by Woolery. He's facing a lot of pressure so far, and a much-needed stop at that one with 13:26 to go in the first. It's 1-0 Western.
Indeed, it's a much-needed stop for CMU right there. The Western, to their credit, has come out playing a very high-paced, physical game, and Central Michigan, for the moment, just can't keep up.
You're absolutely right about that, Reagan. And it sounds like a broken record every time you say it, but CMU, it's kind of been notorious for them when they dig themselves these early holes this much in the game. Here's Andrew Miller. There's a shot right on. Easy glove save for Torkelson, but that'll get an offensive zone possession.
You'll get an offensive zone possession, but I'd like to see Miller shoot for the pads there. You've got a man crashing the net in Chris Martin, your captain. Get the puck low, make Torkelson make a save that he can't necessarily control the rebound on, and you've got a man crashing right there. Instead, you put it right into his glove, and it's a fairly easy save.
There's a shot right off the draw from Gibbs. That was deflected out in front. Owen Campbell won the faceoff. Kept in by the Chippewas. Owen Campbell after it in the right circle. There's a shot deflected, sticked away by Torkelson. Good heads-up play there by the netminder for Western. Central Michigan utilizing their pressure, trying to keep the puck in.
And you got to be able to do what Western Michigan forced you to do earlier in this period, and now you got a penalty coming up here.
And this is going to go on CMU for a slash.
It looked like Isaac Gibbs got caught up in his man across at the blue line, but it's another power play here for Western, and that's what allowed them to gain that momentum to get that early power play or early goal right after that power play expired. We'll see how they do here. This one coming at 7:21.
Western cleanly wins the faceoff. There's a shot from the right circle. Rebound, what a save by Woolery! An extra shot, it stays away. And a little bit of extracurriculars after that play. They're still going at it down on the ice. Officials having to break the fight up.
And that's a massive save by Woolery right there, and then Lucas Hutton getting tied up with a Stallion right there in the left circle. Let's see who that was on the Stallions side. Looks like it was Devin Collis, but again, you see the rivalry sparking here in the early goings. These two teams haven't played in 8 years, but it doesn't look like it.
No, it certainly doesn't look like it. Both Hutton and Collis are going to go off here for penalties, so it will be a 4 on, I would think it would be a 5 on 4. Here for the Broncos, or rather the Stallions.
Yeah, they're coincidental minor penalties that come after the stoppage of play, so they're going to just go 5 on 4. And right now, Owen Campbell and Sam Camara, the captain and president of Central Michigan, they're talking with the officials about why or why not there was that extra penalty on Camara. But again, I think both guys go to the ice. They were both wrestling each other. I don't mind the 4 on 4. Or I don't mind taking them both, rather.
For sure. Caleb Woolery, he was down and out on that one, made a spectacular save, and that's when the fisticuffs broke. But it'll be 5 on 4 here, 7.5 minutes into the first period. Western Michigan leads Central 1-0, and they're looking to add another one on the power play, and we'll get another stoppage in play. And it looks like officials just trying to figure out who exactly had the penalties.
They're trying to get the two penalties up on the board because they've put Hutton and Collis's minors up on the scoreboard. They're trying to take them both down, so we only have the one penalty on Isaac Gibbs up. And it looks like they've been able to take them both down. They're going to get Isaac's up here in a second.
And Isaac Gibbs' penalty had burned off 9 seconds, so there should be 1:51 seconds left in the Isaac Gibbs minor for slashing. And as they display that on the scoreboard, we're ready to continue. Face-off loose and taken by Central Michigan. Fired back down the ice by Andrew Siraki. Burns the first 20 seconds off. A minor penalty on Isaac Gibbs and the coincidentals. What a hit down the far side! Holy smokes, it's physical in here. Western Michigan right back in, but out to center ice. A big hit in front of the CMU bench.
Connor Morgan having a heck of a shift here. Michael gets the big hit in the offensive then and comes back at his own blue line. And another big hit again by Morgan.
Bodies flying all over the place from Central. Another hit out in front. But Western in the offensive zone. What a hit to knock him off the puck. It goes to center ice. And good job by Central Michigan laying the bodies. Minute remaining here in the penalty kill. Another hit in front of the CMU bench. And here comes Satawa. Working behind the net, a wraparound denied by CMU. Lots of traffic in front of the net. Penalty coming up on Western Michigan, it appears to be. Stallion player took somebody on Central down in front of Caleb Woolery, and Central Michigan is going to go on what appears to be their first power play, or rather it'll be 4-on-4 rather, for the next minute and 14 seconds.
Yeah, indeed, it was Josh Gilgren who gets taken down in front there by Ethan Patty, the lone goal scorer in this game. Again, the physicality ramping up. Connor Morgan with about 3 or 4 hits in that last shift. The one thing you got to be careful is not to take it just over the line. You want to keep it within the rules of the game. You don't want to go too far on the hit. You want to keep it physical, but you also want to keep it legal.
Kept in here by Central. There's a shot deflected up and into the netting. Burns 9 seconds off the 4-on-4. 11:15 to go in the first. Western leads Central 1-0. And how about this crowd below us, Reagan? They've been rowdy all night, and that's going to come with the nature of the rivalry game.
Indeed. You can hear with our on-ice microphones. You're able to pick up the fan noise. They're wrapped all the way around the rink here at ice level.
Big hit there on Clements by Charlie Carnes. Shot out in front, wide of Torkelson.
Yeah, it might have taken a deflection after Jace Johnson let that shot go.
Here's Johnson again, circling into the left circle. Couldn't be handled by Campbell, and the Stallions back on it. And it was great keep-in there by Central. Clements after it. Cannot win the race to the puck, played along the far wall here for the Stallions. Central is now on the power play, 5-on-4 for the next minute 10.
It's been a good couple of minutes for CMU here on that 4-on-4, allowing to get some good forecheck, but right now they got to come back and defend with Western shorthanded.
And here they come from left to right. Jace Johnson works to the outside, tries to cut in. Good knockoff there by Western. Knock him off the puck. Kept in, though, by CMU. There's a shot saved by Torkelson. Rebound loose in the slot. Cleared but not out, and now is at center ice. 42 seconds remaining in the Central Michigan power play.
And this is a power play for CMU that needs to get going. They've struggled immensely here in the last couple of minutes, and now a penalty coming up on CMU for a high stick. So the referees, I guess I've been proven wrong. I said they might call it a little bit looser. They've been keeping a tight hold on this game so far. And it's going to be Owen Campbell to go off for a high stick here, so 33 seconds of 4-on-4 at the 10:03 mark of this game.
Got to try and keep your discipline if you're CMU. It opens up the ice more with the 4-on-4. So Central Michigan with just about maybe with 41 seconds of power play time now. Western going to be back on the power play in 30 seconds. Central wins the face-off, and it's played up ahead for Siraki, but he gets knocked down. Back in his own is Hayden Hebard.
Yeah, this open ice here, as we've had a couple of minutes of 4-on-4, certainly is going to play to Western Michigan's favor. They've been they've been the faster team here through the first 10 minutes, and right now with a lot of open ice, they're looking to do some work.
Here's Stein working into the zone. Couldn't handle the puck as he takes a nasty spill right to the back of Caleb Woolery. Western Michigan now on the power play for the next minute 15 seconds. Ahead for Stein. Stein drops it off in the left slot for Western to set up. Puck couldn't be handled there by the Stallions, and it's cleared out to center ice. Siraki goes off for a quick change. Western back in over the blue line. Stein to the high slot. There's a shot right on, blocked away by Woolery. Rebound is loose in the slot, controlled by Western, fought for. Connor Morgan took a spill, and that's cleared down the length of the ice by Central Michigan. 40 seconds remaining on the penalty kill.
And Western does exactly what Central Michigan hasn't done here early in this game. They shoot for the pads of Caleb Woolery. A big rebound out in front. They're able to get a shot off again, but it's blocked in front. They're doing the smart thing. They're shooting for the pads, and CMU just has to find a way to respond to that.
Yes, they do. And here come the Stallions again over the blue line. Big hit out in front by Bowerson. He drags his man down, and we might have another penalty coming up here on
I think the whistle was blown by the linesman for, I think, a puck out of play.
Looks to be like that.
Yeah, I think new puck went out of play. My eyes were on Bowerson and Patty stuck together at the blue line. Bowerson got his stick up in the Stallion player, and for CMU as again bodies go flying. It's been a physical opening to this game.
5 seconds remaining on the CMU penalty kill. Western looking for one more shot. There it is, out in front for Rivalry. Rebound is loose, and it's controlled here by CMU. Penalty over for Western Michigan. Again, more big hits out in front. A centering feed to nobody in particular, but a dangerous one at that. Hutton goes to retrieve it for Central Michigan, as does Langer. Another big hit. A centering feed out in front. There's a shot saved by Woolery, and we're going to have a little bit more pushing and shoving going on after the play. Nothing will come of that. There's nearly 12 and a half minutes gone in this opening frame. Western Michigan leads 1-0.
Fans, don't forget that the CMU Club Hockey Network YouTube channel is your one-stop shop for highlights, exclusive interviews, and full game broadcasts for all CMU Club Hockey teams. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so as never to miss a moment of Chippewa hockey. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
Face-off won by Western, but cleared ahead and into right in front of the stanchion there. And Nick Kuhn looking high to the rafters, knowing that if he would have played it off the half wall, he might have had a good opportunity there.
Yeah, first save of the game made by Nick Wilson, the backup goaltender for Central Michigan, getting a blocker to that one, but it's going to result in the face-off right in front of the Central Michigan bench.
Comes in the direction of Western, but it's controlled by Central Michigan. Along the half wall, comes to Devin Collis, and into the left circle in the CMU end. Williams fires it right back in, and just offsides. Another tie-up with Williams and Armentrout. As they go at it a little bit, nothing comes of that.
It looked like the puck actually went up into the Central Michigan bench maybe, which is why they blew it dead, because Western didn't play that offside. But again, it seems like Western Michigan has been so much the faster, the stronger, the better team. Central Michigan's definitely bringing the physicality, but it's been all Western in terms of offensive zone time and pressure that they've been getting to CMU.
And that's really all about cycling and moving the puck when you get into the offensive zone, especially in the power play. When I had a chance to talk with head coach Brendan Martin, he really stressed the movement of the puck in the offensive zone and just being able to cycle it really well down the length of the ice. Icing is the call, so CMU is going to go back into the offensive zone at 6:50 to go in the first period.
Yeah, and again, this is one of the few offensive zone faceoffs that Central Michigan is going to have had here the first 13 minutes and change. So it's really important that you win this faceoff. You've got Owen Campbell. They're digging in with Clayton Edmond. You got to win this faceoff and get set up.
We'll see if Owen Campbell can do just that. It comes toward the direction of Torkelson, but it's controlled by the Stallions. Here's Clements, though. Fires a shot, deflected up into the netting. It just grazed the netting. So we'll have another face-off in the offensive zone for Central Michigan.
And Owen Campbell won that face-off forward last time. You need to get it back. You've got the triggerman and Gibbs standing just behind you in the circle. You got to win this face-off.
He does. It goes back to Clements. There's a shot right on. Saved by Torkelson. What a chance there for CMU.
That went through his 5-hole. He got it with his leg as he kicked it back.
Here's Campbell. Runs into his own man. That's Andrew Miller. Centering feed out in front. Intercepted by Fonovich. Fonovich back there for the Stallions. One-touch pass intercepted by Gibbs. Turnaround shot. Blocked away by Torkelson and up into the netting. Central Michigan going to stay in the offensive zone.
I want to go back to that opportunity by Central Michigan right there. That you win the face-off back. Isaac Gibbs, the triggerman, is able to work it back up to the point for Clements. His shot from the point is deflected. It goes through the 5-hole of Torkelson, but as he closes the 5-hole, his right leg folds in, and he's able to kick it out. Somehow that stays out. That's an incredible but also very lucky save there by Torkelson.
No doubt. Central gets chased there from the face-off, so now it's Connor Morgan digging in there for the Chippewas. He is able to win it, back up to the point. Played along on the back wall. Back up to the point for Gilgren. He can't keep it in. Fired back in, delayed offside, so Central Michigan's going to have to come out to center ice.
That's exactly what you couldn't do if you're Central Michigan. Even if that puck comes out of the zone, you got to maintain possession of it and try to re-enter the zone rather than just dump and chase and let Western get a clean breakout.
Connor Morgan fired it back into the offensive zone for the Chippewas. Intercepted there, held by Connor Morgan, flung up ahead to the far half wall. Jake Bishop tries to retrieve it for Central Michigan, comes free to Siraki. Siraki off the wall for Gilgren. Gilgren fires a shot out in front, deflected wide of Torkelson. Good traffic in front of the net. And we'll get a stoppage in play here with 5:24 to go in the first.
Yeah, Gilgren just couldn't keep that puck in at the line. He took too much time, too much of a windup on that shot right back into the zone. So for CMU, it's another lost opportunity. You look like you're getting some momentum in the offensive end, and then it's a mistake. You can't keep the puck in, and it's another face-off outside the zone.
Jace Johnson set to dig in with Griffin Crampton. Just outside Western Michigan zone, won cleanly there by Central Michigan, and that's going to go up into the netting. So while a fan gets a souvenir puck, we'll try again. There's 5:19 to go in the first period. Western Michigan leads Central Michigan by a score of 1-0. I think, Reagan, for Central Michigan, this is where you really got to start trying to play back to your style of hockey and going back to the basics, just playing the game how you normally play and look for those chances when you get them. But Central Michigan hasn't been able to do that just yet.
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest, the start to this game has looked a lot like that home game against Northwood a week ago. You allow the Timberwolves and this time the Stallions to get a quick start, and you're starting almost from behind from the get-go.
Here's Johnson with speed. Circling behind the net, centering feed out in front, save Torkelson, rebound, another save. What a job by Torkelson to deny CMU. But those were great chances for the Chippewas.
Yeah, I like what Jace Johnson's doing there, working on the perimeter of the zone, gets behind the net, tries the centering feed, tries to connect with Nick Kuhn, but he's tied up with Griffin Friel in front. The puck eventually comes free, and Torkelson again, another save right there. Central Michigan has gotten a couple of opportunities here in the last couple of minutes. They just haven't been able to convert. That's partially because of Western's defense and also because Torkelson's playing pretty well.
Up ahead for Collis. Collis, rink wide feed, look out in front. Hey. That went up into the netting. What an opportunity and what a pass by Western Michigan. And Chippewas get a huge break there.
Connor Brate doesn't miss those type of opportunities all too often. He's wide open coming off the bench down that right wing, and he puts it off the iron and in. A great break for Central Michigan, but it's a man uncovered. It's another missed assignment that leads to another great opportunity for Western.
Gibbs tries to play it ahead for his Chippewa teammates. Too far for him. It's going to go down the length of the ice, icing the signal and the call. So it's going to go back down to the CMU end with 4:14 to go in the first period.
Fans, stay with us for the first intermission report. Michael and I will recap the action from the opening 20 minutes, and then we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, including all the Chippewa varsity athletics in action, as well as the women's team getting to play 2 outdoor games this weekend.
Absolutely. Should be a fun one for the women's team out in Bowling Green. Another icing on Central Michigan, so it's going to go back into their own end. There's 16 minutes exactly gone in the first period.
And after that first half of the period, lots of penalties called, a combined 6 through the first 10 minutes and 3 seconds. We haven't seen anything since then, so the referees have kind of, I think actually both teams have kind of lessened up and kind of gotten the feel for how the referees are calling this game.
Trying to hit Andrew Miller, couldn't do it, and it's fired back into the zone, but a delayed offside for Western. That gives a chance for CMU to get some offense going of their own. Here's Campbell over the line. Couldn't handle the puck, though. Intercepted by Western. And now over the line comes Crampton. Back behind the net of Woolery. See the bulk of the starts this season, including majority of the starts also for Isaac Gleisner. Oren Jones appearing in relief last weekend in Northwood for Isaac Gleisner, in which he saved 17 of 18. Now look out into the right circle. A shot right on, save by Woolery. And Clements getting into it with the Stallions. Nothing will come of that, so the physicality is still there. But cooler heads for now will prevail.
Yeah, physicality is still there, and I want to talk a little bit about Caleb Woolery. He's playing a very confident game here early on. That first goal was a product of him playing fairly confidently. He's coming out like 2 or 3 feet out of his crease to challenge these Stallion shots and opportunities, and it's paying off here as he makes a couple of good saves.
There's a shot right on, deflected wide of Torkelson. Hits behind the net of Torkelson, centering feet out in front, and that goes up into the netting. Good opportunity, and now some more pushing and shoving going on behind the net of Torkelson.
Yeah, that's Julian Johnson and Hayden Haybird getting into it behind the net. Again, a good opportunity for Central Michigan, working that puck free. McCray trying to find a man in front, just deflected over the top of the goal. But the last couple minutes have been pretty dominated by CMU in the offensive end. It's a much better turnaround, but the problem is they've already dug themselves into that hole, and they've struggled all season to come back from early deficits. They haven't won a game at home where they've allowed the first goal.
Face-off kept in by Gilgren. Fires to the right circle. Being hounded by his Stallion counterpart. Now it's back for Bishop. Bishop tied up along the wall there, trying to poke the puck free. Credit Western Michigan. Their back checking has been incredible, and that gets out of the zone. So Central has to fire it back into the offensive zone, and Jake Bishop and Siraki will try and win that puck back for Central Michigan. Unable to do so, here comes the Stallions. Fired back into the offensive zone, and up with speed comes Kloppy. Into the far corner. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Western leads Central 1-0 here at Martin Ice Arena. Connor Morgan racing back for Central Michigan. Played up ahead for Caden Wells. Wells drops it off to Stein. Stein centering feed. Beautiful passing out in front. Backhanded. Save Woolery. Rebound is loose. It's still loose in the slot and controlled by Central Michigan. They get it out to center ice. And we'll get a stoppage in play here. That might have gone up into the CMU bench.
Yeah, it hit the blue pad at the side of the CMU bench, so they blow that down. I know how earlier I mentioned Caleb Woolery playing a very confident game. It almost bit him right there. He's got to be really careful. It's good to come out and challenge. Being a smaller netminder, he's got to be able to come out and cut down the angle, but he's also got to make sure that he's able to get back into his net in order to get back and make those saves on those opportunities that challenging the initial shot like that will eventually bring.
This is game number 11 for Caleb Woolery on the season, and although he doesn't have a winning record, Reagan, he's really playing with a lot of confidence, and we're going to have a couple coincidentals here coming up on both Lucas Hutton and Caden Wells.
Yeah, Hutton and Wells got tied up behind the Central Michigan bench, or pardon me, behind the Central Michigan net at the end of that play, so they're both whistled off at the 18:29 mark. So we'll play 4-on-4. And then again, this will open up the ice like we saw a little bit earlier. Central Michigan was able to get some opportunities on the first 4-on-4, but the second one kind of went the way of Western Michigan.
There's 91 seconds left in this first period. If you're Central Michigan, if you can put one in the back of the net here in a potential 4-on-4, that would bring a lot of momentum back towards you because it's been all Western so far. But Central Michigan has had their chances. So we'll play 4-on-4 for the next 91 seconds in this first period. Draw is going to be to the left of Woolery. Stein digging in for the Stallions. Face-off won cleanly by Central Michigan. Here's Clements. Chippewas trying to orchestrate some offense. As here comes Owen Campbell. Pass fanned on. Knocked off the puck here by the Stallions, and now Crampton up the other way. Into the left circle. Knocked off the puck there by the Chippewas. Feed in the left circle. Nice move on Stein. A backhander off the glass of Caleb Woolery. 60 seconds to go in the first period. Minute 25 in the Coincidentals. Clements gets it ahead to Campbell. Campbell in over the line. There's a shot right on, blocked away by Torkelson. Up into the netting, but there's Campbell going for the pads, though.
Indeed, and it's a good, strong stick by Torkelson that deflects that up and out of play. He jams that stick into the ice, and that puck ramps neatly off of him and up and out of play. For CMU, that's the type of shot that you want going throughout, because you see the rebound control Woolery's having, and you want to force the issue with Western here.
Morgan to dig in for the Chippewas. Face-off won by Siraki, but knocked off the puck by the Stallions, and here they come in a possible 3-on-2 if Siraki can get back. And just offside was Western Michigan, and another shove by Western Michigan after the fact.
And those things, those shoves, those are going to be expected here through the ladder, or as we get deeper into this game, these two teams getting a little bit more familiar with themselves. They're going to be taking a few more liberties behind the play, and they're always going to take a few more liberties in a rivalry game, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, you should see the referees let that go and let them get a couple shoves just as long as it doesn't go too far.
No doubt. 25 seconds to go in the first period. Cutting it in front of the net. Right in on goal. Save. Woolery. Rebound. Loose in the slot. They score. In the waning seconds of the first period, Western pots home another one. It's 2-0 Stallions.
Just when it looked like you were going to get out of this first period, only down by one, Woolery makes the initial save. He can't control the rebound. Gilgren tries to sweep it away. It falls right into the hands of the Stallions, and they pot it home. It's a 4-on-4 goal. Western takes advantage of the open ice, and they extend their lead here to 2.
Tough way to close out the first period for Central Michigan. Campbell wins the faceoff, comes free to Gibbs with 15 seconds to go in the first. Gibbs, a long shot deflected by Torkelson up and out of play into the netting. So a quick offensive zone draw for CMU in the final 11 seconds of the first.
And there's 2 opportunities here by Central Michigan where Torkelson has deflected it up out of play. He's been very good with his stick. A lot of good fundamentals from Torkelson directing the pucks up and out of play. And it proves to be good. Look out.
There's a shot off the goal post! Closing seconds, another shot saved by Torkelson. Rebound, poke loose, 2 seconds to go. Gibbs, there's a shot right on, deflected away by the Stallions. Looked promising, but that's how the first period's going to come to a close. It's 2-0 Western, but Central Michigan with a lot of chances, but couldn't pot home one. We'll step aside for the first intermission. We'll have that for you coming up next on CCHN. Western Michigan leads Central 2-0.
the chase aspect of it. And it seems like Central Michigan, through the first part of this game, through the first 20 minutes, it's been a lot of dump and not a lot of chase. So for Central Michigan, you need to be able to use that speed, use your guys, get the physical guys out there, get them to go into the zone, hit Western Michigan, and get the puck away, and then you can set up, and that's how you utilize that dump and chase offense.
I think Reagan's made his priorities very clear in this one. Lots to adjust for Central Michigan and a lot of time to do it in. Western leads Central Michigan 2-0 after 20 minutes. We'll step aside, but we'll come back with the out-of-town scoreboard on the CMU side of things. Take a look at what the athletic teams are doing today and at some upcoming matchups here for the other two club hockey teams. Don't go anywhere. This is CMU D3 Club Hockey on CCHN. Back inside Martin Ice Arena, Western Michigan leads Central Michigan by a score of 2-0 after 20 minutes of play. There's going to be 29 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4 going into the second period. Time now to take a look at your out-of-town scoreboard. Taking a look at the other two club hockey teams, Men's Division II. They are in action tonight directly after this game. They'll set to take on Adrian tonight and Sunday. Tonight's game with a 7 o'clock p.m. face-off. Well, 7 o'clock p.m. warm-ups and a 7:30 face-off just about. Sunday, they'll travel to Arrington to take on Adrian. That puck drop slated for 4 or 4:30 p.m. The Women's Division II team is in action this weekend at Bowling Green, both tonight and tomorrow. Tonight and tomorrow for this one, and it's an outdoor game as alluded to earlier in the broadcast. Tonight, they'll have a 7 o'clock p.m. face-off, and then tomorrow they'll turn right back around quickly for a 9 a.m. puck drop outdoors in Bowling Green. As far as other athletics goes, track and field is at the Bob Parks Memorial at Eastern Michigan University. Wrestling is at the Chippewa Challenge at American University in Washington, D.C. They took on Campbell at 12 p.m., American University at 2 p.m., and CSU Bakersfield at 4 p.m. Don't have any scores for those right now. You can go to cmuchippewas.com to take a look at these scores there. Gymnastics at Bowling Green as well at the Stroh Center. They're taking on both Bowling Green and Southeast Missouri State University. That meet got underway at 2 p.m.
update there can also be found on CMUChippewas.com. Women's basketball, they sit at 7-11 on the season. They have a rivalry weekend of their own, taking on Western Michigan out in Kalamazoo earlier today. My apologies, just getting you a quick score update as I'm trying to load up the statistics here as they played earlier today. Women's team at 7 wins on the season, so they've already eclipsed their win total from last year at 6. So they are trending in the right direction here going forward. My apologies, they'll take on Western Michigan tomorrow. I'm getting my days mixed up. Friday, Saturday, it feels like a weekend anyways, and it is the weekend. So women's basketball in action tomorrow at Western Michigan. Tip-off slated for 1 p.m. And then men's basketball, they host Western Michigan tomorrow at 7 p.m. in McGurk Arena for the toilet paper toss, a tradition that goes back nearly 40 years in this one. So they'll have the tip-off at 7 p.m. We're going to keep it right here, actually. Both teams skating back out on the ice. We're getting you ready just for second period action here at Martin Ice Arena. But those are your score updates from the out-of-town scoreboard. We welcome back Reagan Cleaves for the second period. This is another period where we haven't been able to break after the scoreboard and just go right back into it. I don't know if it's just me taking a long time. It probably was because I didn't know that the women's basketball team played tomorrow and not today, and I was looking for stats today. But I digress.
Yeah, possibly that, but also sometimes you have good conversation between two friends, and it goes a little bit long sometimes. And the nice thing is we're not dictated to take a break due to advertisement reasons, so we're going to stay right here.
Absolutely. Both teams back out on the ice. 20 fresh minutes are going up on the clock, and there's going to be 29 seconds in the 4-on-4 coming up in this second period. Reagan had a great conversation in the second period going forward and really wanted to see CMU just be able to control the pace of this game and try and settle things down. We'll see if they can do just that. They flip the ice. Now Central Michigan going from right to left. Western counters from left to right. And quickly, Western back in the offensive zone. There's a shot right on, saved by Woolery already. Just a few seconds in, Western picking up where they left off.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity, fresh off the faceoff. Stein on the left, on the right wing, uncovered by a CMU defenseman, able to walk in and get a clean shot off on Woolery.
Puck loose in the left circle, comes free for Connor Morgan. Morgan, nifty move. There's a shot right on. Save Torkelson, rebound loose, poked away to center ice. Now look out. Behind the defense is Caden Wells. Wells circling in, centering feed blocked out by CMU. Bishop in the near corner, centering feed out in front, poked away by the Chippewas. Stein tries to keep it. He gets bashed to the wall by Siraki. Bishop plays it ahead for Connor Morgan, but delayed offside.
Yeah, the pass got broken up, and again, it's Western controlling the pace here early. They're getting a good forecheck in.
Wells tries to dangle around his man, couldn't handle the puck. A centering feed out to the point, and we'll get a stoppage in play for an offside on Western, so it'll be a face-off outside the CMU end.
18:47 to go here in the second period. Things are going almost exactly as they transpired in that first period, Michael. Western Michigan gets the early start. They've got a couple of Central Michigan mistakes. It's a good job by Jake Bishop off the end of that 4-on-4 to come onto the ice with an opportunity ahead for Western Michigan, but things have got to settle down here for Central Michigan. The second period is you got the period of the long change, and it's oftentimes the most pivotal period in a game. You need to be able to take control.
Miller, there's a shot calmly blocked away by Torkelson. Miller retrieves it at center ice for the Chippewas, trying to fire it back into the offensive zone, intercepted by the Stallions. And they come the other way. Look out, a 3-on-1, a shot right on, saved by Woolery.
And that 3-on-1 chance for Western Michigan comes with Andrew Miller keeping his momentum forward toward the offensive way. He comes up to challenge that puck rather than dropping back defensively, and it becomes a 3-on-1 rather than a 3-on-2 for Western, and it's they opt to take the shot, but there's a lot of dangerous things when you're playing offensive-minded hockey like that. You need to sometimes take a pause and play defensively.
Absolutely. You don't want to get ahead of yourself too quickly if you're Andrew Miller, and it seems like the Chippewas have played a lot of offensive-style hockey today. A shot was blocked out in front. Puck couldn't be cleared, though, by CMU. Swung around to the near wall for Nick Kuhn. It's still in to the offensive zone for the Stallions. Connor Brait circling behind the net of Woolery into the right circle. Drops it off, a shot right on, intercepted by CMU. Here come the Chippewas the other way in a potential 3-on-2. Along the far wall, deflected behind the net of Torkelson. And quickly on it was Western. And they send it down the length of the ice, icing the signal and the call. Very close to Western beating it out, but it's going to go back to the offensive zone for CMU.
Yeah, very close icing indeed there for Central Michigan. They catch a break, you get the ice. It's another offensive zone opportunity here. And I think for CMU, the key, you got to win these faceoffs, which you've struggled on all year. You have to find some way to get momentum back.
There's a shot right on, save, and the rebound poked loose to the left circle. And Central Michigan's one and done. But Siraki over the line. There's another shot blocked out in front. There's another shot. Martin walks right in. Blocked away. Good opportunity there for Martin. Just couldn't put it home. Siraki over the line for CMU. Into the right circle. Gets knocked off the puck by Western. Stallions are back with it into the slot. It's still loose out there, and it's controlled by Western. Knocked down by Martin. Good heads-up play to keep the puck on the ice. Shot from a sharp angle. Score! A much-needed goal for CMU, and it's a one-goal game, 2-1.
That's a fantastic opportunity there for Central Michigan. You're taking what Torkelson gives you. There's not much room, and Andrew Siraki puts it between the post and in underneath his glove, and it goes into the back of the net. That's a must-needed goal for Central Michigan right there. You've been down and out for most of this game. It's not that much of an opportunity, but you take advantage of it, and you're right back in this game.
And if you're Central Michigan, that's exactly what you needed to do, Reagan. You needed to find a way to respond quickly, and Siraki did that within the first 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Campbell chasing after it for CMU. Played back into his own end, flung ahead for Isaac Gibbs. Gibbs calmly retrieves and plays it back into his own end. Good pressure here by Western. Along the near wall, Gibbs. Taken down hard was Western. A shot from a sharp angle, wide of target. Glove comes off. Magos lets a shot go. That didn't go. Magos has it again. There's another shot blocked away by Julian Johnson, who knocks off his man.
And similar to how we saw Central Michigan respond to that first Western Michigan goal, Western comes out after that CMU goal, and they're bringing the body, they're bringing the physicality, and they're really getting to Central Michigan on the forecheck. Good play there by Kamara to break up that centering pass.
For Central Michigan, that's what he got. That's what you have to do, Reagan. You have to keep those sticks down into the passing lanes and those sticks in the shooting lanes. A centering feed out in front, and we'll get a stoppage in play. Net came off its moorings. And a little bit of a mix-up behind the net of Caleb Woolery.
And Gilgren Gibbs and a Stallion go tumbling into the net. Looks like it was Caden Wells that got caught up there with the two Chippewas. But again, it's another stoppage of play. It allows Central Michigan a little bit of breathing room here. Western has come out strong after allowing that goal. It's a good response by them, just like Central Michigan had a good response to that first goal by Western. But for CMU, you need to be able to settle things down and get back to playing your game, which is what got you that goal.
Absolutely, Reagan. Just gritting it out, playing disciplined hockey, looking for your chances.
There's a feed out in front, wide of target. And that's going to go up into the netting. Official has his arms up. I wonder if he had a penalty here.
We got a penalty coming up. Josh Gilgren hammered his man into the boards. It's the captain, Griffin Crampton, that got boarded, it looked like, by Gilgren. And he turned his back, and you got to be able to pull up at that point if you're Josh Gilgren. And it's a tough penalty, which is why you see the referees talking about it, whether it will be 2 or 5. We'll see.
Western Michigan going to go back on the power play here. Western 0 for 2 on the power play in this contest. Central Michigan penalty kill has held strong. This penalty here coming up at 4:50 in the second period. And it's just going to be 2 minutes on Josh Gilgren.
I'm honestly a little bit surprised with how hard Crampton went into the boards that this is only a 2-minute penalty.
Face-off won here by the Stallions. A break for Central Michigan, but still for some work to do on the penalty kill. There's a one-time blast fanned on and broken stick, and it gets cleared the length of the ice. A little bit of a yard sale here at Martin Ice Arena.
Yeah, Carnes had a wide-open opportunity here on the right side. Let that shot go. The bottom part of his stick ended up on the left side of the ice. He took the shot from the right side.
That tells you how much mustard he wanted to try and put on that shot, but couldn't get it to go.
And the stick, the top part of the stick just got in the way of the play and broke up the Western Michigan rush. It's those little things that can affect the way a game goes.
No doubt. But here is Western again into the right circle for Brait. Brait circles with it. Back up to the point for Williams. Williams to the left circle. Down low, back behind the trapezoid. A centering feed out in front, cleared out by Central Michigan to center ice. There's 51 seconds and counting in the Josh Gilgren minor penalty. Williams working in, like a couple nifty moves. Centering feed out in front, point blank, and a save by Woolery.
Crampton on the centering feed there from Ethan Patty behind the net. A fantastic opportunity. Woolery, I don't think could have made the save if it was put anywhere else on him. Crampton put that right into his chest. Woolery was kind of crouched down in the butterfly. It wasn't covering a ton of area in the net, and lucky for him, it was put right into him.
Caleb Woolery saving quite a bit of shots here. Credit Western Michigan for pouring on the pressure. 30 seconds to go in the CMU penalty kill. Into the left circle, a shot right on, save Woolery, rebound, loose in the slot, it's still loose, it's out in front, and Caleb Woolery dives to make a save, and a shove right in front of the net. Nothing's going to come of that. 19 seconds to go in the penalty kill, 13:29 to go in the second.
And I'll tell you what, the faceoff, Michael, is going to come outside the zone here. The defenseman for Western Michigan came in to the scrum. You can't do that. If you come in lower than the top of the circles, faceoff's going to come back out, and that's exactly what it does. So not only does Central Michigan get the save, they get the faceoff outside of the zone.
That's a big break for Central Michigan. They faced nonstop pressure from Western, and they win the faceoff again. Loring enters the zone for the Stallions, fires it on in, where Caleb Woolery plays it and leaves it off for his Chippewa teammates. Bishop speeding up the ice, couldn't win the race to the puck.
Big heads-up play there by Isaac Gibbs, realizing he had a man offside to pull up at the blue line and maintain possession for CMU rather than just dumping it on in.
Jake Bishop could not dump it on in, played back for CMU, but quickly intercepted by Collis. Collis into the zone for the Stallions. Penalty is over for Western Michigan. They're now 0 for 3 on the power play. There's a feed out in front, a backhanded. It's loose out in front and cleared down the length of the ice by CMU. Not going to go far enough for icing, but that pressure keeps being pounded upon by Western Michigan. And here they come again. Magos fires a shot, calmly gloved away by Woolery. That's going to go up into the netting and out of play.
Yeah, good little bit of pressure there by Central Michigan. A couple of good heads-up plays in the neutral zone, because even when you got a guy in on the rush, you have to be able to maintain possession of the puck. Remember when I talked about in that second intermission, not dumping just for the sake of dumping, but dumping and chasing. Central Michigan's doing exactly that here in the second period, and it's working for them. They're able to get a couple of good opportunities.
And they look to continue with those opportunities, but first they got to get out of their own end. Trying to lead pass ahead, quickly knocked down by Western. Comes free to Jace Johnson. He'll circle back with it in his own end. And try and get some spacing away from Western with a nifty toe drag and another nifty move. He's at center ice, and here he comes with speed. Johnson into the right circle, cutting again on net, right in on goal. Couldn't get the stick around it on puck. Couldn't get the stick down to handle the puck. A good opportunity there for Jace Johnson. Puck cleared away for Western to center ice. Along the near wall where it's fired back in by Sam Camara. Johnson trailing to try and get this puck for Central Michigan. 11:23 to go in the second period. It's a 2-1 game. Chippewas got on the board. Andrew Siraki from a sharp angle. A goal that Central Michigan desperately needed, and now they're trying to tie the game. That puck couldn't be cleared out, just barely kept in at the blue line for the Chippewas. Along the near wall, it comes free, and now it's sent down the length of the ice. CMU's going to have to go back to retrieve it. Icing waved off. Here comes Bowerson. Western in a change. A lead pass ahead for McCray. Flex it on into the offensive zone. Puck turned over by Western, and now it's back into the offensive zone.
And you mentioned Jalen McCray, Michael. McCray playing up from the defense to the forward. And ho.
What a save by Torkelson. Pressure came in on him. Makes the save, but an offensive zone draw coming up for CMU.
Yeah, massive save by Torkelson. He's been coming up clutch all night here for Western. But I want to go back to what I was saying. Jalen McCray, normally a defenseman. He's playing forward tonight in the absence of Andrew Porzan, again, Isaac Hopp, who both of whom were scratched from the lineup tonight. Big key contributors to the CMU side of things.
Siraki had that shot blocked out in front. Williams retrieves it for Western, and it comes free to the Stallions. A lead pass ahead. Look out, a break for Western. Right in on goal, he scores! Lead pass ahead, what a beautiful move by Michael Stein to get his 9th goal of the campaign, and Western's back in front by 2.
That's a fantastic pass from the neutral zone, and Chris Martin, the lone defenseman back there for CMU, goes for the puck rather than his man, and that lets Stein get a clean break. Martin doesn't keep his feet moving at the blue line. That gives Stein some space, and it's a fantastic move there on Caleb Woolery. A defensive breakdown, and another goal here. This one coming at 9:42.
Michael Stein, a junior forward for Western Michigan. He now has 15 points on the season, netting his 9th goal on a breakaway. So Central Michigan back down by 2. How do they respond here? Sam Camara fires a long shot in on Torkelson. It's gloved away and dropped off into the left circle. Here for Western. Pressure remains on, but Western able to control it and take it out to center ice. They fire it in on Caleb Woolery, who calmly sticks it away, and Josh Gilgren retrieves it for the Chippewas. Camara in his own end ahead for Siraki. He tries to fire a pass for Morgan. Couldn't be corralled. Morgan fires it back into the offensive zone. Central Michigan going to go for a change here. Fresh new bodies coming out on the ice for the Chippewas. Halfway through the hockey game, just more than halfway through, 9:14 and counting in the second period. Western leads Central Michigan 3-1. Here's a pass for Owen Campbell, working into the slot. Shot saved by Torkelson. And the rebound comes free just in front of the CMU bench. Played ahead here for Connor Brait. Brait works in at the blue line, backhands it into the right circle. Centering feed blocked out in front by CMU. Camara tries to retrieve it for the Chippewas. Western continues to hound that pressure in the offensive zone. And when Central Michigan clears the puck, they got to be able to establish possession. Here's Campbell. Nifty toe drag in the right circle. A shot just wide of Torkelson. Good opportunity there for the Chippewa captain.
And Gibbs makes a nice move, unable to get the toe of his blade around us, tuck that home.
There's a long shot in on Woolery. He deflects that one up, did not hit the rafters nor the netting. Thus we play on. Here's Gibbs working in with speed. There's a shot right on, saved by Torkelson, and a mix-up right in front of Torkelson as he takes an extra shot at Owen Campbell. And that will end things in the scrum in front of the net.
It was Alice Magos who got a hold of Owen Campbell as Campbell was crashing the net. Campbell went in and kind of bumped Torkelson. Torkelson takes the extra swing there at Campbell, which makes sense because he's going after him. But we'll see what comes of this. It just looks like it's going to be Hayden Hayward to the box for at least Western. We'll see if Central Michigan comes out with it. I wouldn't be surprised if CMU comes out of this with a power play, Michael.
It would be a big power play at that too, Reagan. Central Michigan is down 2 right now. There's a lot of time left in this hockey game, but slowly, and as you go along further in this game, that clock is going to become an issue. Central Michigan hasn't done a bad job today with offensive zone faceoffs. Maybe you could see one right off the draw here if they get a shot to. Or you could also see them try and cycle the puck, which they've been wanting to do on the power play for so long. But credit Western, their pressure has been insurmountable for CMU.
And now the linesman's talking with Owen Campbell. He looked like he was looking for him, and I thought he might be taking him off for a penalty, but we'll see. And the official still talking down below. Now, Chris Armentrout is getting sent to the penalty box, which is interesting. It didn't look like he was involved in that scrum unless it's a bench minor. But again, it looked like it was Campbell getting tied up with a man in front. We'll see if we can get a look at the replay here.
Unless Chris Armentrout said something, maybe, if he was perhaps on the ice or at the CMU bench.
Yeah, because Campbell gets a punch thrown there from the netminder, and then Campbell was already being held up there by Magos, it looked like. Either way, it's 4-on-4. Or, pardon me, 5-on-4. Central Michigan does have the power play.
Yes,
So I wonder if the penalty was assessed to Torkelson.
It very well could have been a shot right on, blocked away by Torkelson. Rebound comes free to Central Michigan. They'll try and cycle the puck again on the power play. Into the right circle. One touch pass couldn't be handled, but kept in there by the Chippewas. Martin into the left circle. Campbell looking for his options. Across the way. There's a shot right on, wide of target. Martin back to retrieve it, able to keep it in for the Chippewas. Martin walking in high slot, a shot blocked away by Torkelson. 30 seconds gone in the CMU power play. There's a centering feed out in front. Backhanded, wide of target. Kept in by Campbell. Out in front, back to Campbell. Long stretch pass across the way, kept in by Morgan. There's a long shot by Morgan, glove saved by Torkelson. 57 seconds burned off there in the power play, but like what Central Michigan is doing, they're cycling very well.
Indeed they are. Central Michigan able to take advantage almost like Western did in that first period when CMU was on the PK. Western can't clear this puck. They try 3 or 4 or 5 times to get this puck out to the point. They can't, and Central Michigan able to take control. I'd like to see them cycle the puck a little bit more, be a little bit quick with the puck movement rather than hold on to it for a while.
In the right circle, a shot blocked away by Western. CMU still with possession, though, into the left circle. Centering feed out in front couldn't be handled, but kept alive at the right circle. There's a shot right on Blocked away, a rebound, it's loose in the slot, and they wave it off. Kept alive, though, by the Chippewas. Into the right circle, couldn't be handled, and it fires down the length of the ice.
Isaac Gibbs tries to get a little too pretty at the blue line there, trying to deke his way past the defense of the Stallions. They're unable to do it, and now the Chippewas are sloppy at their own blue line, unable to get much going here.
Campbell comes away with it. Siraki across the way in front of the CMU bench. 16 seconds and counting in the CMU power play. They dump it back into the offensive zone. And Western will clear it down the length of the ice.
Again, we've seen CMU struggle with this all year, Michael, is being able to reestablish that power play pressure in the offensive zone. Western's doing a good job. Credit to them on the forecheck here, disrupting Central Michigan's breakouts.
Lead pass ahead for Chris Martin. A tie-up there. Nothing called on that one. Comes free to CMU. Loose in the slot, but to the blue line, kept in by Isaac Gibbs. Western comes away with it. Knocked off the near half wall. Here comes Jace Johnson. Loses the puck and reestablishes possession. Over the blue line. A nifty move. A shot right on. Save Torkelson.
That one caught up underneath his blocker, but Central Michigan, they're getting a decent amount of shots, but the quality of those chances isn't a ton here for CMU throughout the last couple of minutes. It's a lot of long-range, easy shots, and it's allowing Torkelson plenty of time to readjust, and he's getting good looks at the shots that which CMU's getting. They just need to challenge him a little bit more.
Central Michigan certainly had their chances. There's another one. It slowly rolls in on Torkelson. He'll cover up with the glove. 14 and a half minutes gone in this second period. Central Michigan is down on Western by a score of 3-1.
And as the power play expires here, it was assessed to Torkelson for the rough. That was the extra penalty. But we'll try and figure out what the other two penalties were here at the intermission.
Sent down the length of the ice by the Stallions, and icing called there on Western. So CMU power play ends, but they'll have another offensive zone faceoff.
Yeah, the power play continues to struggle for Central Michigan. 0 for 2 tonight. They've really struggled the last couple of weeks. It's toward the end of that second semester. Faceoff's going to be to the right here of Torkelson. It'll be Johnson to dig in for CMU.
Johnson wins that faceoff. A shot right on, deflected high and wide of Torkelson. Grollo trying to keep it in for the Chippewas. Ryan Grollo, sophomore forward out of Grand Blanc, Michigan. Tries a centering feed out in front, nobody home there. And it's sent down the length of the ice by Western. This should be another icing given who wins the race to the puck, and it is going to be another icing on Western. So Central Michigan going back to the offensive zone. Draw is going to be to the right of Torkelson. At the left circle, won cleanly by CMU. There's a shot right off the draw. Didn't find any stick. Big hit along the near half wall. That puck comes out to center ice. CMU fires it back in. We'll get a stoppage in play. As that puck went up and out of play. 4:38 to go in the second period. Faceoff's going to be at center ice. It's won cleanly by Western. Played up along the far wall, but it comes free to CMU. Siraki. Knocked off the puck by his man, and here comes Western the other way. Overskating the puck, but it's fired into the CMU end. Puck couldn't be cleared, and now is for CMU. Siraki along the near wall. It goes to the near corner for the Chippewas. Played back out for Hutton. Pardon me, Chris Martin. No, rather, that is Hutton. out there. There's a shot blocked with the stick by Western. Puck comes free the near corner. Centering feed out in front, wide of Torkelson. Puck cleared the length of the ice. Now look out, there's a couple Stallions on the prowl here. CMU knocks them both off the puck, and Jace Johnson starts the rush for the Chippewas. In over the blue line, tries a nifty move, but had the puck knocked down. Here's Johnson into the left circle, waits with it, shoots it, and shoots it wide. Kept in by CMU. Puck comes free in the direction of Johnson again. Western comes away with it. And they'll start the rush going from left to right. Puck couldn't be handled there, and another icing on Western Michigan. So you're starting to see a couple icings here on Western Michigan that's getting CMU repeated chances in the offensive zone. They just haven't been able to capitalize.
Yeah, and for Central Michigan, you need to find some way to build momentum. Down 2 here in the waning moments of the second period. Part of that does need to be winning the little battles. Here, you get a couple icings, maybe you can win a faceoff here, start to build a little bit of momentum. But when you lose a faceoff like that, it doesn't help.
Certainly does not help. Central Michigan down 2, 3-1. Western leads over CMU. Puck cleared to center ice for the Stallions. Campbell comes away with it and fires it into the CMU end. And again, Reagan, it's another scenario of just dumping without being able to chase.
It's that, but it's also you force a giveaway by Western Michigan, and what do? You just give the puck right back to them. You need to be able to take advantage of those opportunities and find a pass, curl back at the line, look for an opportunity, and get the rush moving up ahead.
Braden with speed, knocked off the puck by his man, bodies tumble, and that's going to go off its moorings, so we'll get a stoppage in play. It's 2:07 to go in the second period. 3-1 Western over CMU. Stay tuned. Reagan and I will have the second intermission for you in said amount of time, 2 minutes, 7 seconds. We'll take a look at the professional out-of-town scoreboard and recap this 20 minutes for you. Just approaching the 6 o'clock hour here in Mount Pleasant. Central and Western Michigan restoring the rivalry after 8 years. Last time these two teams met here was Martin Ice Arena, November 11th of 2017, where it was a 19-0 shutout by Central Michigan.
Yeah, much different game here this season. Look out, Nick Kuhn.
Here's Kuhn in with speed, working in on Torkelson. A nifty move, but knocked off the puck. Kuhn with a prime opportunity and trying to do one too many moves. And here comes Western the other way. Collis circles with it, gets it back to the point. It's loose out in the slot. And here's Armentrout. Backhands it out, could not be kept in by the Stallions. And good job here by CMU. Here comes Jace Johnson with speed. Into the right circle. A little bit of contact there, nothing will come of that. Centering feed out in front of, backhanded by Armentrout, blocked away by Western. And here come the Stallions again in a potential 2-on-2. Collis makes a nifty move. There's a shot blocked in. Centering feed out in front. Couldn't be handled, and here comes CMU in a potential 3-on-2. Pass ahead into the right circle. Knocked off the puck there. Wore the Chippewas, and here comes Western yet again in the final 60 seconds of the second period. Langer retrieves it for the Stallions. He was knocked off the puck by Bishop. It comes free behind the net of Caleb Woolery. Centering feed out in front. Look out, a stoppage in play. And
Net's off its moorings. Central Michigan won't be able to change, but again, another stoppage of play here. But Central Michigan, there's a couple of opportunities here tonight where they've gone into the offensive end and they've just kind of given up on the play. You see Jace Johnson going into the corner in that last rush for CMU. He gets held up, thinks thinks he should get a penalty. He looks to the referee, and rather than playing the puck that's right at his feet, that isn't going to win you any hockey games. That isn't going to get you any opportunity to score goals.
no, it won't. There's 30 seconds to go in the second period. Again, Central Michigan has had their chances, but they just haven't been able to capitalize on them, Reagan. That puck gets sent to center ice with 15 seconds to go. Big hit out in front by the Chippewas. Hutton tries a centering feed. Couldn't find anybody. 9 seconds and counting in the second period. Big hit along the half wall. Plays it ahead for Siraki with 2 seconds, 1 second. That fired behind the net, and that's how the second period is going to end. 3-1 Western after 40.
Yeah, and it's a tough period for Central Michigan. You look like you get that momentum back, scoring just 3 minutes and 20 seconds in on a fluke goal that Siraki somehow puts in from an impossible angle, and then you go right back down the other way. Western gets a goal on a beautiful breakaway, but in part because Chris Martin doesn't keep his feet moving, and plays like that and the lack of effort for Central Michigan has either stripped opportunities away for them or given opportunities to Western Michigan.
There's 20 minutes left to go in this contest, but Central Michigan has a lot to clean up if they want to stay in this game. We'll step aside. Reagan and I will be with you for a quick recap before we take a look at the professional out-of-town scoreboard. This is CMU D3 Club Hockey on CCHN. Western leads 3-1 after 40. Both teams trade goals in the second period. Western Michigan tacks on another one. Chippewas tack on another one, but it's the scoreboard that makes all the difference. Western Michigan is up 3-1 over Central Michigan. Michael Rosencrans, Reagan Cleves back with you in the broadcast booth at Central Michigan University. So, Reagan, it was a tough second period for Central Michigan. What started out, Western took control of the pace again, but then with that goal by Andrew Siraki from a sharp angle, you started to see momentum come back in favor of the Chippewas, but a defensive miscue by Chris Martin, which leads to that Michael Stein breakaway goal. All the momentum's back towards Western.
Yeah, all the momentum's back towards Western, and again, I talked about in that first intermission, the first 5 and the last 5 of the period. CMU didn't start with they got the goal, but the entire first shift in that second period was entirely Western. They got off the hop with a quick rush. Stein indeed came down the right wing with an open side, got to the puck, even though Central Michigan won the faceoff. So it's things like that. It's the little things. It's the plays that you might not necessarily think of as you start, or as you're looking at the game overall, but those things start to pile up. Western's been doing them well. Central Michigan really hasn't.
No, they really haven't, Reagan. And just again, you touch on it a little bit. Jace Johnson working over the blue line was knocked off that puck and just let it go to Western. That's another little thing for Central Michigan. That can't happen when you're trying to win a hockey game.
No, indeed, and I think it's an overall thing. Like earlier in that period, I noticed on a couple of rushes, Central Michigan had one man cutting up the middle, and rather than the wings going wide, they converged on the puck in the slot. You didn't have any passing options for the guy who had the puck. So it's things like that. It's the fundamental rushes. It's the fundamental breakouts, making sure your passes are clean, making sure you're moving your feet constantly, not getting beat. It's those little things that accumulate over time, and eventually when you play a team that's about the same caliber as you, you're going to struggle because those fundamentals aren't there.
Absolutely, Reagan. And one thing that Western has that Central Michigan has barely had right now is support for your netminder. Torkelson playing a great game so far, only allowed the one goal. He faced 10 more Central Michigan shots in that period. Western, on the other hand, put on 12, so the total was 26-20 in favor of Western. 3 tough goals for Caleb Wollery to give up, but again, you harp on it again. When you want to help your netminder out, there has to be some support.
Yeah, indeed. There has to be some support, and Caleb Wolvery's playing well. The goals that he has let up have been scrambles in front. It was a weird bounce where he couldn't control the rebound on a scramble in front, and then a breakaway. Not much he can do. He's playing well. Torkelson's playing well. The difference has been the offense.
It has been the offense. Central Michigan will have 20 more minutes to try and establish that offense. They'll have a lot of work to do, though, as they're down 3-1. We'll step away for right now, but when we come back, Reagan will have the professional out-of-town scoreboard for you just ahead of third period. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CMUD3 Hockey on CCHN.
Well, the Chippewas down by 2 here at the end of 40 minutes. 20 minutes, final 20 of regulation coming up right after this. But time to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. And speaking of being down entering the third period, the Grand Rapids Griffins yesterday down by 4 in the down by 3 in the third period yesterday. Come back scoring 4 unanswered goals to knock off Manitoba on the road 5-4 and improve to 21-12, 3-1 on the campaign. They're inactive tonight and will be for the rest of the weekend, so a little bit of a weekend off. They get to travel back from Manitoba and from Winnipeg, and they will take on the Rockford Ice Hogs on Wednesday, who are 16-7, 4-1 on the season. A good chance for the Griffins to rebound and continue their winning ways. They're first in the division, 5 points ahead of the Texas Stars. They're second in the conference, 5 behind the Calgary Wranglers. It tells you how good the Wranglers have been this season, as good as the Griffins have been. The Coachella Valley Firebirds 2 points behind them, so the Griffins in a tight race for second in the conference, but comfortably in the lead, at least for now, in the division. They're 6-3, 1-0 in their last 10. They've been very good as of late. Bob Kaiser will have that call for you on Wednesday, January 29th at 7 p.m. You can listen on Wood Radio 1300, 106.9 FM, or watch on AHL TV. The Saginaw Spirit in action just for their second game back from the OHL Top Prospects break. The first ever Connor McDavid OHL Top Prospects game. 5 players represented the Spirit at that, including Michael Misa, Xander Valaris, Carson Hammer, Jacob Cloutier, and Josh Glavin. Those guys didn't help last night, though, as the Spirit dropped a tough one, a slobber knocker, 8-6 to the Peterborough Petes last night. They were up 3-0 in the first half of the first period, and Peterborough dominated the rest of the way, outscoring the Spirit 8-3 in the final 50 minutes of play. Still good for the Saginaw Spirit, though, as they're 22-19, 1-0. They'll take on the Kingston Frontenacs later on tonight, who are also having a pretty good season themselves, 24-11, 5-2. They're 6-4 in their last 10 are the Spirit. Dylan Clark will have that call for you here on WSGW 100.5 out of Saginaw. You can also watch on CHL TV. The Wings also in action tomorrow. They're in action at 7 p.m. against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're coming off of a massive 4-2 win over Montreal, and to snap a couple of game losing streak, and Dylan Larkin's 700th career game as a Red Wing in the National Hockey League. Only the third player I read in franchise history to get to that mark for the Detroit Red Wings. That is a odd thing to think about for a team that's been around as long as the Wings have been, but for that matter, Larkin got there. Congratulations to him, and good to do it in a win as well. Still, the Red Wings, think about how their season started. They were down in the dumps, bottom of the conference. Now they're back up. They're only 3 points behind Columbus for that last wild card spot there, again in action against Tampa Bay tomorrow, who they are currently comfortably in that playoff picture toward the top of the division for them. You can listen to that game on 97.1 The Ticket if you're in the Detroit area, or on the NHL app. Ken Cal, Paul Woods have the call for you there, and then FanDuel Sports Detroit will have that game on the television set for y'all at home. We'll step aside, just about to get back. Zamboni's off. We're still waiting on the teams and the officials. 20 minutes left to go in rivalry weekend for the first time in 8 years. Chippewas and Stallions, third period, coming up next.
Rivalry weekend here at Martin Ice Arena. There's 20 more minutes left in this contest. Central Michigan with a lot of work to do. They're down 3-1 to their arch rivals, the Western Michigan Stallions. Michael Rosencrantz, Reagan Cleaveswack here with you as we just hit 10 after 6 here in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Central Michigan's going to go from left to right in this third period, Reagan. And if you're Central Michigan, with the way that Western Michigan has hounded you in terms of pressure, you've got to come out with urgency.
Yeah, you do have to come out with urgency, especially since Western Michigan has gotten the bulk of the opportunities early in both of the periods. It's imperative you get out to a fast start and get within one early here in period 3.
And here they go. Western will win the face-off, and quickly it's the Stallions going right to left. Knocked off the puck, though, quickly was Western, but fired back in to the offensive zone, where Central Michigan will retrieve and try and cycle a rush. Played off the near half wall. It comes free to center ice. Fired back in to the Western offensive zone, but it's Morgan who dumps it in for Central. Morgan to try to win the race to the puck. He will, but knocked off there by Western. Here come the Stallions the other way. Pass into the right circle. Centering feed blocked away. And here comes CMU the other way in a 3-on-2.
Pass behind Martin. Morgan retrieves it. It's loose out in the slot. It comes free to the Stallions. And now here's Wells up the way. Wells, nifty move, calmly slides in on Woolery, and he has to make a glove save. Minute 7 seconds gone in this third period.
Yeah, it's a good play there by Gilgren to box out Wells as he's trying to get to the front of the goal. Gilgren got in his way and forced him off the puck, and then was able to roll in pretty neatly there on Woolery. But I think one of the stats that, like, being a stat head, I love to dig into things. Situationally, Central Michigan has not won a game all year when they've trailed entering the third period. That needs to change tonight, and that needs to start with grabbing the momentum from Western Michigan.
Absolutely it does. Here's the Stallions cycling up front. Shot blocked away by Woolery, kept alive, though, for the Stallions. That's going to go into the netting and out of play.
And I should mention that it's not a small sample size. The Chippewas have trailed entering the third period 13 different times. They're 0-13.
Absolutely, Reagan. That is a stat that has got to change if you are Central Michigan. There's a lot of time to do it, but it has to happen sooner rather than later. Another stoppage in play here, taking his man down, and this is going to go back out to center ice, it looks like.
Yeah, it was play was stopped along the side of the boards. It was a frozen puck. You don't see that too often in modern day hockey. If you go back and watch the 1980 Miracle on Ice, you'll see it a bunch. But either way, that's what the stoppage was. That's why it came out of the zone.
Always love the Miracle on Ice. And Chippewas in search of one right here. Given they're only down 2 goals, but
And they're not necessarily playing the Russians.
no, they're not necessarily playing the Russians. But they're down on the arch rival, so there's a little bit of bad blood in there anyways. Couldn't be kept in there by the Chippewas. Campbell circling with it back in his own end. This back check for Western, hounding Central Michigan, and that gets sent down the length of the ice. Icing is going to be waved off, and that's just a play for CMU that was just an aimless pass into the offensive end.
It was aimless pass. They're lucky it didn't get called for icing because there were so many Stallions in the neutral zone.
Jace Johnson in a race for the puck. Couldn't be met with Tyler Loring, though. Along the near half wall. Pass fanned on there by Patty. And is back into the CMU zone. Haybird at the left circle. It's kept in here by Central Michigan. Now fired down the length of the ice. It hits one of the linesmen. It looks to be Chris Thayer out there, and he's doubled over a little bit. That got him at a tough spot.
At this point, he's not going to want to do any Central Michigan games anymore. Got his ankle rolled up last game at home against Northwood, and now he gets hit again in this one.
And here comes Collis. Collis, a centering feed out in front. Look out, right in on goal. Saved by Woolery. Oh, what a save that was. Western not done, though. Brait, centering feed, saved by Woolery. That puck sent to center ice, where it's retrieved by Western Michigan. Carnes takes an edge, fired back in to the offensive zone by the Stallions. Grollo there to retrieve it. Lead pass ahead for Jalen McCray, but this will go for icing. So it'll be back in to the CMU defensive end.
Yeah, I like the idea there from Central Michigan. You got Jalen McCray working through the neutral zone. You've got an opportunity to push it deep. You've got an opportunity to beat out that icing. McCray just takes a tough angle, tries to go inside rather than just go straight at the puck, and you end up losing that race. But again, it's things like that where you miscommunicate on passes, you don't connect, you don't beat out those icings. That starts to wear and tear on you over time and allows Western to build up some more momentum.
That gets sent down the length of the ice. Another icing called, so 2 quick icings for Central Michigan. 4 minutes exactly gone in this third period. Central trails Western 3-1.
And the same lines out there for CMU as it has been the last couple of weeks, or pardon me, the last couple of moments here in this one. CMU has got to be able to find a way to clear the zone without dumping this down the ice.
And that's what we've seen kind of for most of the season, Reagan, when Central Michigan has that same line out there and there's those tired bodies out there. Central's kind of notorious for clearing the puck down the length of the ice and not really resulting in a lot of offensive opportunities as that puck goes in to the CMU bench.
Off of Chris Thayer.
Off of Chris Thayer.
Man, he's just getting beat up out there, eh?
Absolutely he is. And this is not his only game tonight.
No, indeed. Same four officials, though they swap a little bit going on later today for the D2 game coming up in a couple minutes. It's definitely been a good crew here tonight. The other linesman, Riley Brass, works OHL games. So, good quality linesman out there tonight.
Absolutely. Another face-off win for Central Michigan. They'll try and clear the zone. They will. This one will not go for icing, but it's Western coming back from right to left. They fired into the offensive zone. Woolery out of his net to play it. And that's going to go up and out of play, so we'll get another puck and another offensive zone face-off for the Stallions.
And that goes up and out of play, and at this point, Woolery's glad he doesn't play either under USA Hockey rules or the National Hockey League, because that puck goes straight out of the zone. The National Hockey League, anybody does that, it's an automatic penalty. In USA, if the goalie does it, it's an automatic penalty as well. Nobody else, though. So CMU catches a break. All they got is a face-off.
And another face-off, which they're able to come away with a big hit out in front. That physicality certainly has not waned one bit.
But at some point, it doesn't help you score goals. You got to be able to find a way to convert the momentum off of the hits to scoring opportunities.
Absolutely. CMU in their offensive zone, up to the point. That shot blocked away cleanly by Western, and they're back up the other way. Fired into the offensive zone for the Stallions. A big hit out in front of the CMU bench. Morgan along the near wall for the Chippewas, trying to clear it out of his own end. Under 15 minutes to go in the third period. Kept alive, though, by Western. There's a pass out in front. Good stick to knock it off. The stick of Crampton.
Yeah, Clements parked right out in front, able to knock that puck away. Crampton had a golden opportunity right in front of the Chippewa goal there, and now Clements getting into it with a couple of Stallions just over the line. And it's going to be a penalty.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a penalty coming up on Central Michigan. And they'll stop play there. Clements is going to go off here for CMU for rough. Or rather, a cross-check, I should say.
Yeah, it's a cross-check. He got a little tangled up, and it's always the retaliation that gets called. And indeed, it's going to be another power play here for Western. They've only had 3 tonight, but he filled up the penalty sheet pretty decently. Lots of coincidentals, as you'd expect in a rivalry game.
No doubt. Western Michigan back on the power play here. 0 for all night for Western in the power play. Another face-off won by Central Michigan, but it couldn't be cleared by Campbell. Here's a one-time blast over the top of Woolery. Puck kept alive, though, by the Stallions. They'll try to cycle the puck, and they will. At the blue line, Stein. Up to Williams, into the right circle. Fake the shot, deflected, up into the netting and out of play. So another offensive zone face-off coming, but that burns off 24 seconds off the power play.
Yeah, indeed. It's a great play there by Clements to get the stick in the shooting lane and deflect that up and out of play. And again, time winding down here in this game, Michael. Not a ton more time for CMU to get chances in the offensive end. And now, penalty's going to be called on Western Michigan, it looks like.
Yeah, that's going to go on.
We'll see. Yeah.
That's going to be Crampton going to the box for the Stallions.
Did you see what that was?
I couldn't see what it was directly, and he's talking with one of the referees trying to get an explanation. So it'll be another 4-on-4 in this one. So again, the ice opens up, and we're set to go. Central wins that face-off Comes free to Gilgren. Gilgren works in a shot, loose in the slot, they score! 6 seconds into the power play. It's a 1-goal game, 3-2.
That took a deflection off of Freed in front of the net, off of a Western Michigan skate. It deflects past the netminder, Torkelson, and into the net. The Chippewas get an odd break. It's not a power play tally. It was a 4-on-4, and so we remain 4-on-4. The Chippewas right back in this one.
And a much-needed goal at that one. Campbell was first through the line. So although he may get credited for this goal here, it was deflected off of...
And it might have gone off both him and Freed, but Freed was in front, and he looked immediately to the rafters like, oh, goodness, I put that in my own net.
Central Michigan right back in it, though. They're down 1, given away by Western, and here comes CMU up the other way.
Now you just need to find a way to keep this momentum going and continue the comeback. You can't let Western Michigan pry it away from you again.
No, you cannot, Reagan. This is where Central Michigan needs to come up big. A huge hit out in front of the Western Michigan bench.
Campbell got tangled up. He got his stick in the skates of Jack Williams. It wasn't malicious. They were just going for the puck. They got tangled up, and Williams fell down.
Johnson knocked off the puck there by the Stallions. Bowerson and Johnson back to try and create some pressure for Central Michigan. It comes free to Johnson. Johnson tries a centering feed, couldn't connect with anybody. Now look out, a possible 2-on-1 here for the Stallions. Just offside for Western. So it'll be a face-off at neutral ice. 12:55 to go in the third. Central has made it a 1-goal game, 3-2.
Yeah, it was Collis coming up the neutral zone and just ahead of the play. If the pass had come maybe 5 seconds later, it would have been fine. Or, pardon me, a second earlier, it would have been fine. Instead, it's an offside. Chippewas have a face-off on the positive side of the ice.
They win the face-off, and that took a deflection as it was entering the offensive zone. Jace Johnson, oh my goodness gracious! Maybe a little ode to Lucas Raymond against Tampa Bay, sending him just into the CMU bench, but a massive hit there for Johnson.
Yeah, almost sends Connor Brait into the penalty box. Joe Grogan, the photographer over there, had to keep his camera out of the way.
No doubt, a deflection out in front, just wide. And now it's 5-on-4 for Central Michigan. They'll go on a brief power play for the final 19 seconds. That puck went up into the netting. 12:16 to play in the third period. Central trails Western at 3-2.
And again, it's another good response by Western to a Central Michigan goal, much to the chagrin of us up here and everybody on the ice level. Credit to Western. They're not counting themselves out. They're playing good hockey, but
shot just wide. They are playing good hockey, Reagan, and they're keeping themselves composed. Even they still have the lead, and they're keeping themselves composed. That's what you got to try and do here in the final moments in this one. Penalty is over for Western, and that's going to go for an icing. So we'll have another offensive zone face-off for the Stallions.
And it's another one of those small things, Michael, where CMU unable to get the puck cleanly out of the zone. The pass, Campbell has an opportunity to play this at the neutral zone and at least deflect it and negate the icing. Instead, he just kind of pulls up. It's another play that you need to put more effort into.
There's been a couple plays like that where Central Michigan has not really been lackadaisical, but has not really put in 100% effort, and that's got to show right here. Under 12 minutes to go in the third period. Face-off one cleanly comes to Loring. A shot saved by Woolery with the glove. Draw will be back in the offensive zone. Face-off, and we'll do it again. It's going to be right to the right of Woolery. David Patterson digging in for the Stallions. He's able to win it back to Loring. Loring up along near wall. for the Stallions. Knocked off the puck, and Central Michigan's going to come away with it. Pass down the far wall. This won't go for icing if Central Michigan can win the race to the puck. Bodies flying all over the place. Net comes off its moorings. And we'll get a little bit of words exchanged as one of Central Michigan's players taunting Western a little bit.
It's Andrew Miller. Isaac Gibbs frustrated as he goes to the bench for not getting a penalty on that, and I'm with them. The Stallion defending took a 360 whack at him to go after that and then hauled him down. Gibbs wants a penalty. I'm surprised there wasn't one. But again, it's a rivalry game. Those things are going to happen. You got to find a way to pick yourself up and get on with the game.
No doubt, Reagan. Central Michigan with a key offensive zone face-off here. They were able to win it, but can they settle this puck down? It's still loose. Mad scramble for it, couldn't be kept in by the Chippewas. They're going to have to regroup at center ice. They'll fire it right back into the offensive zone, and we'll get a stoppage in play.
It's going to be an icing just by the slimmest of margins. But again, it's those little things, making sure you're past the red line before you dump it, and you've got time, you've got space. Gain the red line, dump it in. Give that little extra effort to get to that puck fast. Make that effort to try and deflect it to stop an icing. It's those things that need to go right in a game in order for you to come back and win.
Central able to win that clean face-off, but it comes free to Stein. Stein, a shot right on, saved by Woolery. They'll blow the whistle. That puck came free from Woolery, but one of the referees blew the whistle to stop play.
That's an incredibly quick whistle, but granted, especially when you're on that opposite side, it's always hard to see where that puck is, especially on a play like that where normally the netminder would have it in gobbled up. It's still loose. Chippewas catch a break.
Central able to win another face-off, but it comes free to Western. That just speaks to that pressure. One-timer backdoor wouldn't go. Oh my goodness, what an opportunity for the Stallions.
Stein put that just wide at a gaping cage. Didn't get a ton on that redirect.
A centering feed. There's a shot right on. Rather, a pass into the left circle. A centering feed out in front. Chippewas were there to intercept it. And CMU back up the other way. Pass too far ahead for Connor Morgan. It's going to go for an icing.
That's just a bit of bad luck for CMU. It's a great play by Siraki. I don't fault him at all for making that pass. Connor Morgan makes the effort, and that's what you need. Even though it doesn't go your way, it's that mentality that needs to be consistent throughout the game, and it hasn't been for CMU, but it's good to see it right there, and maybe you're able to continue that going forward in the last 10 minutes or so.
Siraki frustrated after that one, but there's still 10 minutes and 34 seconds left in the third period. There's a shot right on, sticked away by Woolery, and it'll be deflected up into the netting. Rather, 10:36 to go in the third period.
If you're looking for game reports, stats, schedules, and more, take a trip to SeamarshIceHockey.com. There you can find those and much more, including player information, recruiting information, apparel, and more. That's CMICHHOCKEY.com.
Faceoff comes free to the Stallions, but couldn't be kept in. They'll have to fire it back in and delayed offside, so Central Michigan is going to get a chance to regroup here and try and start things offensively. Hutton circling with it in his own end, trying to orchestrate the rush for the Chippewas. Quickly knocked off the puck. And Western is back on it. Here come the Stallions with speed. Wells knocked off the puck there by his man. Comes free to Central Michigan. Cannot be kept in as Friel tries to pass it across the way. A big hit out in front in the right circle. Puck tied up along the near wall. Comes free to Wells. Wells circling with it. Drops it off for Friel. Friel has a shot right on it. It scores! No one they're going to call no goal.
It was batted in with a high stick immediately. The referee waves it off. A break there for CMU, but the right call. Lots of sticks up in the air. Western knocked it in. No goal. Big break for CMU there.
That's a big break indeed for CMU. That took the longest hop, like a pop fly in baseball, and it just comes down, and if that wasn't deflected, that would have been one of the oddest goals I had ever seen scored.
And the irony is that if that's not deflected, Woolery probably isn't able to find it anyway, and it goes in. So by trying to bat it, Western actually helped Central Michigan by putting it in the net with a high stick.
Yes, they did, and now Central Michigan with an offensive zone draw here. Campbell set to dig in. 9:34 to go in the third. Face-off is won by the Stallions, kept in by Clements, who backhands it into the right circle. Loose in the slot, and Western comes away with it and fires it to center ice. Clements. CMU working back in their own end. Have to try and orchestrate some offense, but this isn't going to help as this is going to go for icing.
It's another play where Central Michigan, there's nobody on that side. You're just firing it down the ice. Isaac Gibbs is cycling to the opposite side. You have to be aware of that. If you're the guy in your own defensive end firing it down the ice, you got to have your head up. You got to see where your teammates are going.
Loring able to keep it in. Fires a shot deflected by Owen Campbell. Puck comes free to center ice, but fired right back in by Western Michigan. Clements there back to retrieve it for the Chippewas. Given away by Clements. Look out, right in on goal. Save Woolery. Rebound is loose, and Woolery covers up with the glove. Bad giveaway by Clements. Fortunate break for Central Michigan again as Woolery bails him out.
Yeah, and good rebound control there by Woolery. Realizing he's got Stallions coming in on him, he's able to make that initial save. The rebound doesn't go too far, and that's exactly what you need. You're able to corral it and put a freeze to the action.
Draw will be to the right of Woolery. That face-off won cleanly by Central Michigan. Comes out to center ice. Fired back in, but Hutton, they're able to retrieve it. Hutton fires to the left circle along the wall for Morgan. Morgan knocks his man down. Glove down there by CMU. Puck still tied up, and here comes CMU. Bishop hauled down there, and look out at a break for Western. In on goal, save Woolery. Rebound is loose. Net comes off its moorings. We'll get a stoppage in play.
It's going to be a hand pass as well, so the faceoff's going to come outside the zone there for CMU. Lucky break for them, but again, it's another play where like in that second period, Gilgren has his momentum going up the ice offensively, trying to knock that puck away, and he doesn't have any help behind him, so he gets caught out, and that allows a pretty clean break for Western Michigan the other way. Woolery makes the save, bails out his man, but it's things like that where you have to, especially when you're the last man back, you can't be going forward like that to try and go after a puck. You have to be able to play defensively.
Straw is going to be in the offensive end to the right of Torkelson. Face-off won by Central Michigan. Siraki tries to get it up to the point but cannot do so. Here comes Western into 2-on-2. Along the far wall, here's a pass in for Brait. Pass out in front. Wide of target. Try to go. Bang, bang on the back door. Couldn't go. 8 minutes to go in the third period. Central trails Western 3-2. Deflected up and into the CMU offensive zone. Central Michigan's going to go off for a change, try and get some fresh bodies on the ice. And here comes Western. Brait overskates the puck, and it's turned over and back to the Chippewas. Kuhn fires it into the offensive zone for Central Michigan. Connor Morgan's going to go off the ice frustrated.
And rightfully so. That's another no-look pass by Central Michigan. Oh, a big chance there.
Big chance indeed. Another one out in front. Deflected wide, and that is going to be poked out by Western Michigan. Icing waved off emphatically by the linesman Chris Thayer. Another great chance for Central Michigan, just cannot capitalize. We'll get a stoppage in play just offside. Rather, there's going to be a penalty coming up here.
It's going to be on Western.
On Western for a hook. With 7:07 to go in the third period, Central Michigan's going to go on a much-needed power play.
Indeed, it happened behind the play right at the blue line here. And the hooking penalty gives Central Michigan an opportunity. Their power play, and I know we've harped on this, and I don't want to linger on it too long. It struggled. This is a great opportunity for it to get its mojo back against Western in a big rivalry game here.
Chippewas trying to tie it on the power play. That back checking for Western, ever so imperative for them. Comes free to Gibbs. Gibbs, a shot go wide of Torkelson. Rebound is loose. It comes free to the Stallions, and they'll clear it down the length of the ice. Good confident start to the penalty kill for Western. 25 seconds already burned off.
As you hear the crowd that's wrapped around the boards to our right, they're getting into it. Central Michigan, maybe they find a way to feed off the crowd here. Only down by 1. 6:25 to go.
That comes free to the Stallions, and they're back up the other way. A nifty move, good play by Martin to knock off the puck off the stick. Chippewas have to try and regain the offensive zone, but it comes free to the Stallions. A centering feed out in front. Nifty move by Crampton, couldn't handle the puck. And it comes free to the Chippewas. 55 seconds to go in the power play, 6 minutes exactly to go in the third period. That puck couldn't be kept in the zone by Central Michigan. And now they'll re-enter with Gibbs. Gibbs lets a shot go deflected up and out of play into the netting, so we'll get an offensive zone face-off for the Central Michigan Chippewas.
We're getting down to crunch time here for CMU, and it's times like this where you need your top players to step up. You're going to look for Jace Johnson. You're going to look for Isaac Gibbs and Owen Campbell, but those guys need to be supported. They can't do it all themselves. You need to find a way to play as a team here in the final 5 minutes to tie up this game.
Puck comes free to Johnson. Johnson up to Camara. He walks the blue line. Lets a shot go wide of Torkelson. Rebound loose. Bishop going after it. Gets taken down by his man. Body still flying all over the ice. And it's cleared up the way of the ice. Now look out. Caden Wells up with speed. Nifty move, still with the puck, right it on goal, save by Woolery.
That's a fantastic save by Woolery, but it's more important that you get what Sam Camara did on that play. He goes for the body, he stays in the middle of the zone and forces the man outside to the point where he's not able to get a clean shot off, and now what do we have here?
Officials conversing here.
We're going to call linesman Chris Thayer over this. So this is a linesman discussion, given the fact that both the linesmen are coming together here. I don't know what it was. Maybe icing offside?
It didn't look to be offside. It looked
Too
like
many men? Something? I don't know what this discussion is going to be.
I wouldn't imagine it's offside. Wells looked like he had a clean entry in the zone.
They didn't start the clock, so they're winding off some time here on the power play for CMU. Now they keep rolling it. What are they going to put it at? 20 seconds? Nope. Well, the clock's still rolling. Okay, so 15 seconds left in the power play here for CMU. Not a ton of time to do something, and you lose the faceoff.
There's a shot right on, deflected up into the netting. Off Woolery, up and out of play.
And it's a big save there by Woolery, able to get the shoulder to it and deflect it up and out of play. But again, that lost time doesn't help for CMU. They're unable, you don't have enough time on the power play to get up the ice, and especially when you've struggled on faceoffs all year, it's hard to win faceoffs in key spots.
And there's another Western face-off win. 5 seconds to go in the power play. Centering feed out in front. Glove down by Western. A shot wide of target. Power play over for Central Michigan. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. 0-for-3 now are the Chippewas on the power play. 5 minutes exactly to go in regulation. What do you say, Reagan? The last 5 minutes are another time period where it's the most important in any period.
And when you're down by 1, the final 5 in the third is the most important.
No doubt. Central Michigan has to orchestrate some offense here. It comes free to center ice, and it's played back to center for Western. A 2-on-2. Brait circles back with the blue line. Gets it up to Rickabaugh. Rickabaugh shot right on. Calm glove save by Woolery.
Yeah, clean save there by Woolery. He's able to see it all the way. And again, he's been confident tonight. The goals that he's given up haven't necessarily been his fault, or that they've been the result of things that have happened in front of him. He's played well. It's not a discredit to him that the Chippewas are down right now, but he has to continue to be good in these final 5 minutes.
Yes, he does. Patterson wins the faceoff for Rickabaugh. Rickabaugh, shot was wide. Tried to be deflected out in front. Couldn't get a stick on it. Kloppy, along the far wall, kept in by Western.
And in these final 5 minutes, Michael, Central needs to be clean with the puck. They need to be confident and controlled. They can't just sling it down the ice and hope to get to it first.
Andrew Miller tried to retrieve that, but you're absolutely right, Reagan. This is what you see a lot this season for Central Michigan. A big hit out in front by Owen Campbell. Kept in the CMU zone. Now a lead pass ahead for Miller. Couldn't find it. And it gets played back to center ice. Here comes CMU over the line. Isaac Gibbs knocked off the puck. Owen Campbell backs him up. Into the left circle. CMU in the offensive zone. Hutton fires a shot deflected out in front wide. Back out to center ice for Central Michigan. Hutton again fires it back in to the CMU offensive zone. Siraki circles with it and gets it to the point. Down to the right circle. A shot right on, loose out in front. Where's that puck? It's behind the net. Deflected out in front. Owen Campbell gets tied up behind the net. And we'll get a stoppage in play as a Stallion goes down behind the play at 2:58 to go in the third.
Net's off here, it looks like. What was the whistle for?
Western crowd wanting a penalty here, possibly on a hit that took a Stallion down.
That's not the Western crowd. That's all the CMU faithful behind the net. What? I'm still trying to figure out what on earth that stoppage of play was for.
If the net came off its moorings, that would be my guess.
But nobody fixed the net.
That's true.
None of the linesmen, the goalie didn't even touch the net.
Could it have been flown up into the rafters?
It didn't. Possibly, but it didn't look like it.
Didn't look like it, but we play on. Crampton, centering feet out in front, loose in the slot. Wrap around, they score. A punch to the gut for CMU, and Western's back up by 2, 4-2 Stallions.
That's just a case of the lost puck behind the net. Central Michigan can't find it. Indeed, it's the captain, Griffin Crampton, the first one to it. He's able to scoop it up. Woolery doesn't know where it is. He's on the right post. It's an easy tap-in, wrap-around goal there by Crampton. 4-2 Chippewas, or 4-2 Chippewas trail here. 17:22 the time of that goal.
Tough one to give up for CMU. 2.5 minutes to go in the third. In this first of a home-and-home with their arch-rival, the Western Michigan Stallions. Glove down here by the Stallions, quickly reinserted into the offensive zone. Woolery makes the glove save, but drops it off for Gilgren. Tied up behind the net. In the waning moments of this contest, coming up on 2 minutes to go in the game, deflected in by Connor Morgan, icing waved off. It's loose for Connor Morgan, who retrieves it. A centering feed quickly intercepted by Wells. Comes free to Chippewas, a turnaround shot blocked away by Torkelson. Another shot deflected into the glass. And it comes free for Williams. Williams ahead. Over the blue line. Pumps the brakes, but loses the puck to Kyle Bowerson. 100 seconds to go in the third period. Central Michigan trailing Western 4-2. Isaac Gibbs gives it away to the Stallions, but quickly back on it are the Chippewas. But Fonovich able to backhand it in to the defensive end of the Chippewas. Now here comes CMU up the other way. Cutting in on that, a little bit of contact, nothing there. And Western back up the other way. We'll fire it back in to their own offensive zone. Fonovich there to claim it for the Stallions. 60 seconds to go in regulation. Western leads Central 4-2. Behind the net is Western. Played up along the near wall for Haybird. Into the near corner, a shot from a sharp angle. It's behind the net of Woolery. Controlled by Western, it goes up to the point for the Stallions. Now back behind the trapezoid of Caleb Woolery. With 35 seconds to go in this one. Gibbs overskates the puck, and it comes free of the point for the Stallions. They'll just cycle the puck in the offensive zone here. In the waning seconds, comes free to the blue line, now to the right circle. A backhanded shot, glove saved by Woolery. 18 seconds to go in this third period, and as promising as it was, Reagan, this is a tough end for Central Michigan.
Yeah, it's a tough end for Central Michigan, and there's just, even when Western scores that goal, there's still 2 minutes, 38 seconds left. There's still time to do something, but there's no urgency being shown by Central Michigan. You don't feel like you have a chance to come back in this game, and it shows as Western has been able to dominate here in the last minute.
Yes, they have. That puck comes free to CMU in the final 12 seconds of the third period. Goes down the length of the ice, icing waved off by the linesman Chris Thayer with 5 seconds to go. Retrieved by Morgan, tied up along the far wall. And for the first time in 8 years, Western Michigan is going to get their first win over Central Michigan in the series history. Final score in this one, 4-2 Stallions over the Chippewas. Step aside, we'll come back for the postgame show up in the broadcast booth. Tough one to swallow here for Central Michigan. They dropped their first game to Western Michigan. We'll be right back on CCHN. Western defeats Central 4-2.
Selfish players.
It's awful. Absolutely awful.
Bad.
Tough pill to swallow for Central Michigan as they drop their very first game ever to their arch rivals, the Western Michigan Stallions, by a final of 4-2. Michael Rosencrantz, Reagan Cleaves, back with you one more time in the broadcast booth here at Martin Ice Arena. Reagan, it started out as a really promising third period for Central Michigan. Able to respond quickly, make it a one-goal game, and just in the latter moments where it really mattered, Western, again, were calm, composed, and they really set the tone of the final period.
Yeah, indeed. This was Western's game to lose from the outset. They scored early on, and they relinquished control of the game a couple of times. Central Michigan got a couple of good looks, but overall it was Western's game. They brought it to Central Michigan. They came out. They were the faster team. They were the more physical team for the most part. Central Michigan had a couple of good shifts in that first and second periods, but again, it looked like, especially later on, Central Michigan was just scared of the puck. They were dropping as soon as they got the puck on their stick. They wanted to get rid of it. It's like they didn't want to get hit. They didn't want the pressure of having the puck. At some point, you gotta be able to control the puck. The puck is how you score. I mean, these guys know that, but at some point, what's going to change?
Something has to change, and in talking with head coach Brennan Martin before the game, he made a statement about our guys should know what to do with the puck before that happened. That didn't happen today.
No, it didn't. It looked like Central Michigan, they would cause a turnover. Western would make a mistake, and CMU would get the puck just outside the blue line or right inside or somewhere in the neutral zone, and they just fire the puck right back in. Or they had miscommunications, but miscommunications happen. It's knowing what to do when you have the puck on your stick, and more importantly, knowing what to do when you don't. Knowing where to go on the ice, where to make, or where to put yourself in a position so that you're open for a pass. And again, that's the only way you're going to be able to score goals in this league against any half-decent opponent, is being able to spread the puck out, create opportunities for yourself, because you're not going to be able to make those individually. This league's too good for a guy like Jace Johnson to every single time work his way around the outside and then cut to the middle. Guys are going to watch. Guys are going to know what's coming, and it's a fairly easy move to stop.
It really is a fairly easy move to stop, and Western Michigan was able to stop Central here today. Crampton on that game-winning goal as a wraparound. Caleb Woolery, another tough night for him, giving up 4 goals. But again, most of those goals were not his fault, and he really played confidently today.
No, they were the result of giveaways. They were the result of miscommunications. And that final one, there's nothing you can do about that. You lose the puck behind the net. It's easy to do that. Your team doesn't know where it was. You don't know where it was. The only guy who knew where it was Crampton, and he was right behind the net. He's able to pot it home. It's a backbreaker for CMU. It's tough to watch, but again, that's not what lost them the game tonight. What lost them the game tonight was a lack of effort at points, was a seeming lack of care for the puck when you had it in your possession. It's those things that are going to need to go right for Central Michigan if they're going to want to turn around again tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. to even this series up.
It's a big game at that. There's 5 regular season games left now, and time's running out for Central Michigan. Now they do have a few weeks before they turn around to Michigan, and a couple weeks for an MCHC East opponent. But again, you're making your way. You're trying to build momentum towards the MCHC and towards that Vezina Cup that you haven't won since 2020. And for Central Michigan, you have to change a lot of things if you want to go down that road again.
Yeah, and this is where the scheduling kind of hurts Central Michigan. Yeah, that off week's nice, and if you've got a bunch of injuries, okay, you get a couple of guys back, but you don't play a game for 2 weeks after this weekend. So going into that Michigan game, it's a big rivalry. You'd argue it's, at least in hockey, a bigger rivalry than this Western Michigan game because it has division implications. It's that week off is not going to be any help for Central Michigan because they're not going to play a game. They're going to be practicing, but again, practices are much different than games, and you're going to lose any momentum you're able to pick up tomorrow. And that Michigan game, that Michigan series rather, is going to be pivotal for the MCHC standings toward the end of the year.
It sure is. Central Michigan and Michigan know each other so well, it seems like, these past few years, and they'll set to clash in a couple weeks' time. But Central Michigan, this one falls to Western Michigan 4-2. They now go to 10-16, 1-0 on the year. Western improves to 8-11 on the year. And as Reagan put it, Central Michigan will be back in action tomorrow night in Kalamazoo, where Western will host Central Michigan. Puck drop slated for 8:45. You can listen to that
on CCHN. It'll be a radio broadcast, but if you're looking for a TV side of things, it'll be on Stallions Club Hockey at Western Michigan University. But it'll be their first game ever in Kalamazoo, so hopefully you can take positive things out of this game tonight and try and turn it around tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed, and you've got some time. You've got some time to linger over it here tonight, and that loss is going to sting for Central Michigan here. It's tough to lose to a rival at home, especially with such bitter rivals as Western Michigan, and you have to be able to take the little things from tonight, although it didn't seem like there were many, but you got a couple of good looks on the power play. You were able to cycle the puck, but again, that power play needs to get going as well of a lot of other things here for CMU, but they get the chance to play their first game in Kalamazoo ever. That series back in 2017, 8 years ago, that was both those games were here in Mount Pleasant.
They were, and Chippewas will have a chance to go into Kalamazoo to try and get a win on the road against their arch rival Western Michigan. Final look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Spirit at Kingston tonight. Puck drop slated for 7 o'clock p.m. just to get set to go in just a few moments. Dylan Clark has that call for you on WSGW. The Red Wings at Tampa Bay tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. It always seems the Red Wings play the Lightning pretty well. They got utterly manhandled the first time, so we'll see what they can do tomorrow night. That'll just about do it for us here at Martin Ice Arena. But before we go, we just wanted to remind you that the broadcast of today's game was a copyrighted presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the CMU Club Hockey Network, and Moore Hall Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution, other descriptions and account of this game may take place without the express written consent of the ACHA, CCHN, and MHTV. We always want to thank MHTV for providing us with all the equipment that you see, the cameras that'll show the both of us, the lights just in front of us here that hopefully aren't blinding us and causing a glare on Reagan's glasses there, and as well as a lot of the other on-ice mics that you hear. Big thank you to Ian Drayton on the camera for us tonight. Awesome job tonight. Thank you so much, Ian. Producing Zach Kennedy, thank you so much. And a big thank you as well to Brody Finelli for making the graphics ahead of the broadcast for this one. But that'll just about do it for us. For my broadcast partner, Reagan Cleaves, and everyone else at CCHN, we'd like to say so long as Central Michigan falls to the Western Michigan Stallions by a final of 4-2. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night, everybody.